I'd like to show you something.
The pace when I'm running, I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
Woo! How y'all doing tonight? What's going on? The 104th episode. Wow. I love that number. 104. How y'all doing tonight? All of you already here and early right away. And we've got a member chat already from McFly, who's been a member for 1 month. Hey, McFly says, my wife and I are still up at 3 a.m. to watch our favorite YouTubers discuss one of our favorite movies. Life is good. P.S. Nick, favorite pizza chain. Ooh. Favorite pizza chain. Probably I'm going to say, as far as regular Chicago pizza, probably Uno's was good. I do, as far as deep dish goes, I like the Lou Malnati's, but if you're talking like chain, like Domino's, Pizza Hut, all that stuff, I'm not really wild about all that stuff. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably would go with Pizza Hut, because back in the day, Pizza Hut used to be pretty damn good. And dude, that's crazy that you're up at 3. So clearly you're not anywhere near America. So that's awesome. Thank you and your wife for staying up and watching, and thank you for the wonderful compliments. And hopefully you enjoy the show, because tonight's gonna be kick ass. All right, let's see who is all here and present. And Britha Ibn Muhammad, Robert Kijek, John Capola, Darth Viewer, Wonky Man, Tay Nagayan, Clay Tomas, and Deleted Scenes, Bryant Barth, RC Anderson. Hi, welcome to the show, RC. I don't think I've seen you here before, but welcome, D-Bud Martin. Welcome, dudes. And I think there's clearly also a bit of lurkers here as well. But let's bring in our fellow dudes here. We'll start off with the Markster, the Marksman himself. How's it going, Mark D? With
going most excellent.
Congratulations, by the way, on remonetization. How about that,
I got
man?
re-upped. Yeah. So YouTube they said I had too many toys that was too commercial. So hey, go out and keep buying toys. But yeah, it was fun to get that back, because it's always nice to get that little extra coin for not that I need a lot of pizza, but it's always nice to have, and it's fun too to have those members, stickers and chats and everything. So yeah, I'm glad to finally get that back. So yeah, thanks. That was fun. And we were just talking before the show tonight. We're like, this movie is damn good. I mean, I forgot how good it is.
Yeah.
It's one I gotta some nights you're like, oh, what am I gonna watch? I don't want to get too far ahead of the show, but it's like, this would be a great movie just to watch again. If you haven't seen it in a while. I'm sure most hopefully a bunch of people in the chat watched it again. But yeah, it holds up good. So, but I'll stop talking. You can introduce everyone else. Yep.
No. Hey, I agree on all that. I mean, pretty much, I grew up, as a kid living the Harrison Ford life. I mean, obviously you had Han Solo, Indiana Jones, but I was also aware of the Fugitive, Air Force One, So like Harrison was definitely part of the
he's hot
upbringing,
here
per
too. I mean,
se. Oh
he's
yeah, that's saying
this,
a lot because he has competition in this movie too from Tommy Lee
Yeah.
Jones. So that's saying a lot.
but but back in this, I think his movies grossed over $1 billion, whatever the number is. He was the biggest movie star for a chunk of time, and of course, I was dating my much better half at the time. We weren't married, but this is always Harrison Ford was always an easy sell to go out on to a date night, and because she was a big fan.
Good,
and then you got a good action movie too, so that wasn't some romantical cruddy movie. No offense to anyone out there who likes those romantic movies, but so this was like a good good date night movie because you got Harrison Ford there. So
well, it
was
a perfect time because this was a big time in the 90s. He was red hot the way he was in the 80s, is the way he was into the 90s. And he's not like one of those actors who, like everyone else, who's stuck with Star Wars syndrome. The man he made it all.
He was
happen.
the big star back then. Yeah, he was.
He was
one of the biggest
powerhouse. Yeah. Straight up powerhouse. I mean, Blade Runner, dude. Come on, man. Blade Runner, like that should be like enough said. Like I love the classic name. But yeah, I agree. Let's bring in other dudes. And before we we're gonna acknowledge more great faces here. Office Girl, RJ Godzilla 81, Action Com, Frank Hammett. What's up, guys? Thank you all for being here. And my guy Vulcan Lives, one of our Dolph Lundgren members, along with D-Bud. Awesome. Vulcan Lives saw the 32 flavors sticker, and I posted it on the Gilded, so that way, if you're a part of the Gilded, you can say I posted the sticker, and all the handful of Dolph Lundgren members are gonna get those stickers. So can't wait to ship those out. Hopefully late this month, if not early next month. But right now, all's looking on track to live up to the initial time that I'm hoping to ship this stuff out. But yeah, if you're a Dolph Lundgren member and you're on my Gilded, check out those stickers. The photo's great, by the way, and they actually are quite huge. I didn't know they were going to be that big.
Huge.
They almost take up my hand. Not even joking. I was just like, I'll just get the most expensive version of this sticker. It'll be fine.
Huge.
And I'm like, oh, these things are mammoths. So yeah, they almost take up my hand. Granted, I know I don't have like a football sized hand, but I'm like, geez, la freaking wheeze. All right. And what's up, Soul Assassin? And we got 2 super chats here. We got Darius Munchausen. He gives the horns for $3. How you doing, Darius? And my friend, Mr. Chickle Trunk, with a Canadian $2 says, I rewatched this movie just to see Andreas Katsoulas. I don't know if I said that right. If I butchered that, well, I apologize, Andreas. I genuinely do. So, anyways, yeah, he's fantastic in this movie, and he's a scary villain, dude. I couldn't blame you for that as the rewatch excuse. D-Bud son. All right. Let's bring in our other dudes here, and he is our red shirt.
Hello. Yeah, nobody asked me, but I tell you what, when I first got out of college, I ate an awful lot of Uno's Pizza. That was my favorite pizza chain. And I'm from the North Jersey, New York type of pizza area. And that was a whole new thing. That was a horse of a different color. But I was like, yeah, I can go there and get dinner. That was good. So, yep. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of most of the pizza chains because, having grown up with 25% of the people in my town in New Jersey were Italian, we didn't lack for pizza joints, or whatever. I mean, you wanted Italian food in New Jersey where I lived, man. It was all around you. Pizza, spaghetti, northern, it's southern. It didn't matter.
Yeah. Calamari.
Oh yeah, except they couldn't cook it back then.
Eels.
I mean, the East Coast didn't know how to cook calamari when I was a little kid. It was rubber bands and breaded, and it was just unchewable. And I went out to Seattle.
My nana cooked some good calamari. So
yeah, well, I went out to Seattle, and a couple of colleagues said, "No, you got to try the calamari." I said, "I've had calamari. It's rubber bands, deep fried in the fryer. Come on." And they said, "No, try this." And I was like, "Oh my god, we need another plate of calamari here, please, bartender." And after that, we always had to get 3 plates. Eastern. Oh man, it's really weird. Seafood in the East Coast was very hit or miss a long time ago. Now it's not. I mean, if you get crappy seafood, you just send it back, because that just means somebody doesn't know what the hell they're doing. But anyway, pizza, seafood, whatever. We talk about all kinds of things on Toxic Tuesday here, except toxic seafood. We don't talk about toxic seafood. That's not allowed.
No, that toxicity. All right. Well, Richard, I'm glad to see you here. Glad you can hang out with us. Tonight's going to be fun. Okay. Let's bring in our other dudes here. Let's bring in Bruce Lombardo with his Only Hands account of the Dicks Division. How's it going, Bruce?
Very, very good. Man, I forgot how much I love this movie. This is a fantastic film. I absolutely forgot this was one of the last movies I saw before I had gone to boot camp in the 90s. Man, this is a good film. Thank you. Who recommended this? Red Shirt 70s? One of those two. Thank you, guys.
Can't remember who did, but all I know is we're
I'm gonna
talking
take credit.
about it. Yeah, we'll let Mark take credit.
I wasn't me. It
that's
wasn't me on
great.
this one. No.
There's a from the information he gave me, Nick Weiser, there is a Marco's Pizza about 25 to 30 miles from you. I gave you the coordinates on your phone, so you should be able to triangulate some night with the wifey and be able to sample it. It's pretty good pie for less than $20. You get some good ingredients on it. I've never had a bad experience with it. Uno is great pizza. Don't get me wrong. I love Pizzeria Uno, but we don't really have them around San Antonio.
No, you definitely do not. And for me, I have to be even more specific. For me, when I think about Uno's, it's got to be the downtown location on Ontario, not far from Michigan Avenue. Yeah. That's where it's at, which is very timely considering this movie takes place in Chicago, and you get a whole lot of Chicago in this movie.
Yes.
Oh man, I remember walking by parts. So it's like, for me, watch this movie like throughout the years is still really weird for me. Still very weird.
See, we saw this film. I saw it before boot, and I saw it after boot on one of the weekends of AIT, and I took some friends of mine to go see it. One of the guys is a Chicago native, and he about shit a brick during the parade scene. What? They shot during that? Oh man, he wouldn't shut up about it for like 45 minutes. He's just talking about this parade, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, the parade in the movie, that's an annual event. Do you not understand? I'm like, oh, okay. Fantastic film.
Agreed. All right, let's bring in our other fellow here, Mr. Keto Simple, the simplest one himself. How's it going, Dustin?
Living the dream, gentlemen. I haven't watched this movie, I guess, since like high school, maybe.
Your mic sounds a little different, by the way, just so you know. I don't know if that's on purpose.
Does it sound bad?
Sounds like you're underwater.
Sounds more like you're it sounds like you're like talking through like a tunnel.
Sounds like you're a fugitive from
I figured that.
On a payphone,
the
which don't exist
tunnel.
anymore.
Come on.
In the tunnel, yep.
Come on, Dustin, do it.
Yeah, I'll come back to me. I'll fix it.
Oh, we'll be here. Believe that. And what's up, Bodega Outlaw and Pinochet's Helicopter Tours? And 70s will be here when he's here. He does have a life, but he's going to be here. And we'll get also our Harrison Ford here as well. And it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Do you got the slide ready, Mark, or no?
Yep. I'm getting it right up as we speak. Yep.
Good.
I'm going to get that rolling. Yep. And Mr. Tickle Trunk said, Dustin, maybe you're on your camera mic. That happens to me sometimes too. When like computer, the computer grabs like the wrong mic,
We had a power outage my road wasn't on.
Bring it a little up, and then you're perfect. But yeah, I can tell your mic is now on.
Yeah,
your mic
yeah.
is definitely on. It's getting there.
louder.
It's getting better. It's getting
A
better.
little louder. Yep. Higher,
Little
higher.
Louder.
Perfect.
Chowder.
You know,
Louder. Get to the
doing
chopper.
live streams, it's kind of like when you're it's kind of like a band at a concert. No matter how ready you think you are,
Yeah.
something always
Something
comes
goes
up.
wrong.
And as someone who's played in bands, I know that feeling. I relate to this. You think, okay, did I check your mic? Good. Do you have all your information you need? Good. It's kind of like saying, do I know the lyrics or do I know the rest of the song? All right. There's a crowd ready. Is everything in check? Does everything look good? Are we all set up? And something still goes wrong. It happens to me all the damn time. You're like, how? I set everything up. What the hell? What is this crap?
And after the concert, everybody gives the sound guy crap.
Yeah. It's always a sound guy, even when it's not.
Yeah.
You had one job. You were supposed to make me sound good. You failed.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Oh, all right, Mark. Get to the slideshow.
Well, that's the background.
I spoke, and he shows up with the slideshow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Dude.
that's not been that's not our buddy. That's not Mads' face.
Yeah, I should have put Matt on there.
There's not a lot of mad moments for this one. This is
No.
it's kind of mad light, if to be very fair. But now that I think about it, I'm gonna have to do a minor backtrack because there is mostly dudes in this.
Yeah,
besides his wife, who unfortunately lost her
yeah.
life.
Well,
And the
Julianne
fact that
Moore's
it's
not.
really it's basically Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones's movie, if anything. It's really all about them and their not relationship. Basically, their cat and mouse hunt. This is like Tom and Jerry, but in Chicago, basically.
Yeah.
If you want to really simplify the hell out of it, definitely Tom and Jerry, but for Chicago. And it's funny because I look at it, I'm like, wow, you don't realize, I'm like, wow, the city was really clean. And I remember people saying in the 90s it was dirty. I'm like, I didn't think that as a kid, but I'm like, okay, now I think that. It's so weird. And this is another name, Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah, he was.
We have seen a lot of movies, and his name, he's one of those guys where he doesn't really often get like the big role, but he does have good roles in a lot of movies he does. Like he obviously in Bad Boys, The Matrix as well. So he's had good essential parts. I think he was also in Midnight Run as well. Midnight Run. Yeah, he was in Midnight. Yeah. So he's had a lot of great roles and parts, but he was never too well known. But when you see him, he is great and effective. And he's definitely got that. He's the stereotypical, he's the Italian guy of it. He's like, hey, this is what's going on here. What's the business of all this? And I missed one. I stand corrected. Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you.
He had the best death scene. That was the best part of season 4 was seeing him get whacked.
Yes.
Oh, he was also I can't believe I forgot this. I know this is a bad movie for many, and rightfully so. But he was also Ben Urich in the 2003 Ben Affleck Daredevil as well. I remember that because I remember he was in the trailer. I remember thinking as a kid, like, oh, that's Ben Urich. Oh, I know who that is. Yeah.
He's like a less angry Bill Burr.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
So much less angry.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself that opening credit does not say Denzel Washington. It says Dennis Washington, not Denzel. I don't know why I get thrown off by that little thing. I'm like, bro. But yeah, what a scary premise right off the bat. And like, there's definitely some themes that play off into this that I'm like, man, this feels like some modern cancel culture that would happen in today's world with all this stuff. Bro, I'm not with that, man. But no, like Johnny Depp before him, or in this case, way after him, because it's 1993. Vindication can happen. Straighten that arm. Was that a premonition? That line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did a golf pro teach you that? No, my wife.
That's supposed to be Richard Jordan in this movie.
I get really confused at times when I'm just like, hold up, I have to make sure that this is not John Kimball and not Frank Kimball, because that really weirded me out, especially like as a teenager. That's when I started making the connection. Hold on. There's a John Kimball and there's a Frank Kimball. What the hell, guys? What the frick, man? you could think, hey, that Kimball's a little bit too close. But what I like about this Kimball is here, because, especially in a lot of 80s and 90s, and I'd say probably even 70s movies, when a guy's on the run in a movie, you just name a movie where they're on the run, basically, and they need to get by places, and it's just like they just blend in for convenience. The fact that they actually made him part of the medical field, I thought was actually a really smart move. So now you're like, okay, it doesn't feel as convenient as most other movies where like, oh, well, we're just gonna let it happen because the plot needs to advance. It's like, okay, he works in the medical field. He knows where everything is. It wasn't where a guy just walks into all the right rooms by chance. So I do like that aspect of his Frank Kimball character, that they gave him that career to make that happen. Okay, no, actually, I do like that aspect of it. Little thing, but I think a smart little thing. And
so this is based on the classic TV show.
Yes.
So when they're taking all that from the TV show. So and this is one of the, it was 63 to 67, and I think first 3 seasons were black and white, and fourth was color. And this was one of the first shows, I think, and I was talking to Clobberin times about this, that actually had an actual ending. An actual, most of the times when a show got canceled, it was gone. Done and gone. But this actually, and it was a big deal when that show ended. Like, everyone was watching to figure out who the one-arm man was, I guess, or to figure that that one the final finale. And that's why this movie works so well, I think, is because he's innocent the whole time, and you just can't stand it, right? You're going crazy because the movie's told basically most of the time from his point of view, and you're just going nuts because he's innocent, but he's been totally railroaded and framed. And of course, this is before DNA and stuff.
I was just about to say it. Soul beat me to it.
There we go. Yeah.
All right, I got a good old little trivia for our chat, and this is basically a no prize. But who was the who wrote the original story for the TV series? Don't IMDb it. Don't. Well,
I'm in the article, but the chat can do it. But I didn't.
Yeah, I want to see the chat. I want to see who. Someone's gonna know right at the bat, because we have a very deeply knowledgeable chat. And go ahead, sound off, Red Shirt.
While the chat is figuring that out, I just want to say, because I have seen episodes of the original TV show when I was a kid. This show works so much better because you knew the TV show. It was 4 seasons. You knew at the end of an episode he wasn't going to get caught and he wasn't going to get vindicated. So it was like every time they had to come up with a story that he just barely escapes or something. This, as a movie, is great because it's going to end one way or the other. He's either going to be captured and put back in prison, or he's going to find the one-armed man and he's going to be vindicated. One way or the other. And you're not going to have to wait 4 years to find out. So I like this better.
All right. Let's see if I got no all right. I like Bush's response, and we'll highlight it just for laugh. Jennifer Lawrence created the Fugitive.
That always is the correct answer.
Boyfriend.
That's always the right answer.
We'll ask the Trump crystal ball if Jennifer Lawrence is actually the creator of the Fugitive. Trump.
You never know, but I think so.
Trump, Did Jennifer Lawrence actually create The Fugitive? I need you to be honest with me on this. What happened? Come on, don't do this to me now. You're stalling on me, bro. Man, stalling on me. No, it was not Roy Thomas. Trump. Who did Jennifer?
I don't know, to be honest.
Oh, he doesn't know.
He doesn't
No.
know.
Oh, he doesn't know. Okay, no one is.
Thought he knew
all
everything.
Right. Bush was very close. It's not Roy Thomas because Roy Thomas was Marvel or DC. Oh, sorry, that was deleted scenes. Sorry, deleted scenes. It was Roy Huggins. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, he wrote
Yes,
the
Roy Huggins
Maverick, Hunter, and of course the Rockford Files.
Yep.
I love the Rockford
Essential
Files.
Man.
Did
Essential
you
creator?
Anybody
Go
here
ahead.
ever watch the TV series on like Nick at Night or whatever streaming service, and it would echo back to the 2000 aughts when we had Prison Break on television? Because that Prison Break seemed like it was a throwback to The Fugitive.
Say that again. I didn't understand it. Maybe
The old TV show Prison Break reminded me of this.
I'm sure it was influenced by it. I mean, this movie did go on to not only influence movies, but it also got a spinoff that Tommy Lee Jones said, the U.S. Marshal.
Yep,
and
US
also
Marshal
there was a lot of parodies and spinoffs that was based off of this as well. Like Leslie Nielsen did that movie called Wrongfully Accused, and it's him walking around with a handicap arm on the cover. Yeah, and then in The Mask, because I thought it was Ace Ventura, but I ended up looking it up because I was wrong. And yes, see, I admit that. I could have easily just said I always had it right, but I thought it was Ace Ventura, but it turns out no, it was The Mask, because he said it wasn't me. It was the one darn man. It was when Jim Carrey was wearing his green mask when he said that. And there's also an episode, and this is a great Simpsons episode for our Simpsons fans in the chat. Season 6, episode 2. Lisa's rival. There is a little bit of a small like side story. It involves Milhouse, and well, you know what? Lucky for you guys, I have the clip, and we're gonna play said clip. So let's get to it.
Sound.
No sound.
Oh, I'm sorry. How did I swear I hit the sound on there?
That's what always happens, right? It always happens.
Oh, the thing changed.
They changed StreamYards. They changed something on StreamYards last time with the last update.
Did they really?
They moved something around just to mess the streamers up. Yep.
Well, it got me because that is bull crit, man. All right. Let's try this.
Or is the volume really low on that?
No, let me look here.
Look at the volume.
Check on
it's low.
No,
it looks low.
Yeah.
On the YouTube window.
Yeah, I'm looking at the YouTube window. Yeah, no, I was looking at it, and it gives you unmute screen audio. All right, we're gonna try this again.
Nope.
Well, that way you won't get copyright.
There we go.
All right, someone do Millhouse for us.
Not a chance.
Oh, I love that scene. Man, The Simpsons that show is just an absolute powerhouse. Every episode is just, at least for me, every episode is firing on all cylinders. They rebooted the TV show at the movie.
Yeah,
I did not know that, turd.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, because when I was looking for, joke backgrounds I could put on, and then I was looking for the Fugitive TV show. I'm like, oh, there's a show in the 2000s or whatever, or 90s. Yep. Yeah, so it's really popular proper, and I think a lot of it's the the strength of the TV show from the 60s. So it was something that everyone really loved to watch. So it's like, hey, let's recycle stuff. But the good thing about this movie is it's tight. They didn't do like an 8-hour Disney Plus series where nothing happens. I mean, this thing is action packed, pretty much nonstop. It's not gonna put you to sleep.
That stunt of him diving off the face of the dam and landing in the water below, and that the deputy saying, "There's a 1 in a million chance that he could survive that. He's fish food, man." I was a whitewater kayaker. I have paddled over a lowhead dam about 7 feet high and a 7 or 8 foot tall just ledge cliff on a river. That horrified me. Having been a paddler. I mean, I'm like, what do they put at the bottom of dams? They put something to prevent the river bed from scouring away. So you're going to land in a concrete trough, or you're going to land on some teeth, or whatever it is they use to diffuse the water as it flows down the face of the dam. And I'm like, no, they're going to find him in pieces. They don't. Obviously, he survives, but it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he managed
1
that.
in a million.
It was.
Yeah.
So I have thought about this scene particularly over the years. The fact that one crazy man decided to make way. Is this guy technically the reason, in a way, that Frank Kimball's a free man? Because he decided to make this move to break out, and then also it kind of gave the leeway for everyone to make their move. What do you guys think about that? Because I thought about Mike. I'm like, I don't want to say like he's a hero, because obviously he's a crazy guy who's trying to get away from not being held accountable for his wrongdoing. But I'm like, damn, that's like, technically in a way he's the reason he got out, in a sense. What do you guys think on that?
I think the others had no idea what he was going to do. He makes his move. He loses. He gets shot. But he manages to derail the bus and get the bus driver disabled. So the bus starts careering out of control and goes over the rail onto the railroad tracks. And they just take their opportunity. They just seize the chance. Whereas it's not like where we talked about Con Air, where there was a whole plan to get everybody, to freedom. They were going to take over the plane. They were going to, then fly it and go somewhere else, South America or wherever they were going. This is just one guy who's got a plan, and the others on the bus have no idea, and they just take advantage of it when everything hits the fan. That's my take.
Okay.
It's sheer dumb luck.
But you see my point, where I'm coming from, why I see it that way too. Like, do you see where I'm getting at? Does that, like, all right, so it does make sense. And like, damn, man. It's funny because even though this movie is, a little over 2 hours, I think by 10 or 11 minutes, I feel like you still could have used slightly more. And what I say slightly more here is because even though I have definitely been notorious for how we don't need a movie with 500 endings, but we did have this one scene where one of the guys got stabbed by the crazy guy, and obviously Frank saves his life getting him out of this bus right here, and he was never to be seen or heard from again. Now, I don't think it was like, oh my God, this is going to affect the movie, it's going to make or break it. But it would have been nice to have seen him and maybe Frank run into each other. Like, hey, that's the man who saved me. He was innocent. Because that could have helped his case. Because remember, like, obviously, he had co-workers who vouched on his behalf. But I feel like having a guy who was there at the scene of the crime would have made him look that much better.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, he saves that other saves the other the cop that got shot. But then that sheriff is kind of a weasel, where he's on that press conference. He says, I saved him. I pushed him out. He's taking credit, and Tommy Lee Jones right away knows that this guy is bullshit. His story is crap. And even though, he's got that line, the famous line later in the tunnel when he's chasing him, like, when he said, much later in the movie, he says, or later in the movie, I didn't kill my wife. He's like, I don't care. Which is great. Yeah, that's a great line. Yeah. And look at is that Harrison Ford getting thrown there? I don't know. Yeah, he's jumping there.
Dude.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yep.
he's jumping off just before the train hits.
just before the classic, before the train hits.
But
There's
boom.
no way.
And by the way, I want to point out, because I always love these, that line, Mark, I didn't kill my wife, I don't care, is a setup. It's a great setup.
Right?
And we'll get the payoff at the end of the
Get the
film.
payoff later, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why it works so well. But that
I don't
sheriff
care
is a
works.
weasel. Yeah, it works. That sheriff is such a weasel on that
Oh, he
train.
is.
You don't want anyone to get hurt, obviously, but he's a weasel, so he's taking credit. And that's when you pretty much know that Kimball's innocent from the footage in the beginning, but you maybe have some kind of doubts, or maybe you don't know the TV show. So they're setting him up as a good. They're setting him up as a good guy right away. That he's above, that he's not a hardened criminal, and it's really really great stuff on that set.
He actually does that again later. And hopefully you have a couple of clips from when he's in the hospital and he sees that kid come in.
Yeah, because he writes down exactly where he's shot. He tells him not shot, stabbed, not actually gun. Yeah, where he's and he does that again later in the movie where he saves that other young kid.
He saves the kid because he says, he writes down instructions. He signs it illegibly, which of course is what a doctor would do. And instead of sending the kid to observation as he was told to do, he takes him up to basically to an ER nurse or to ICU, and she looks at the page and goes, "Get him in room 4."
Yeah, and that's
and then Tommy Lee Jones asked the doctor, "Well, what did he do?" She said, "He saved his life."
Saved his life, yeah.
And that makes Tommy Lee
Moore.
Jones start thinking again, like, he saved the kid's life. He broke cover.
The wheels are turning
as a janitor to save this kid's life.
That's why that cop would have really added to the case, because once again, scene of the crime. That would have added to be like, hey, he could literally let him to just get hit by the bus. He didn't have to save him. But also, we got two things here. The first off, what's up, that 70s rock fan?
Good evening, everybody. My apologies for being late. I am the late 70s rock fan.
Are you running from justice?
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
Very nice.
No, I'm still very much here. Just
Thank
unfortunately
God.
detained, but I'm glad I could make it in the end. Just
Thankfully,
that spectacular action sequence there of the train and all that. Just
and we got a new member here, Office Girl. What's up, Office Girl? And she has signed up to the balls to the wall tier. So you know what happens when someone has their balls to the wall. You get your balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall. I can accept that.
Yes, Yolanda Gaines.
Oh, and 70s, if I can give you just a point of order, at our age, you don't refer to yourself as late. You refer to yourself as delayed. If you refer to yourself as late, people start making funeral plans.
That's true. It's okay. I've detailed instructions for my funeral. They're not going to like it. No one's going to like the music. That's for sure.
No one's going to like the music.
You don't want to listen to disco?
My only regret is I won't be there to listen to it with them, and then we'll go.
I don't know. There's way too many soundtracks I could think. Like, do I do Venom or do I do like Accept? But what if I want to do like Warlock? But what if I want to do Autopsy? But what if I want to do Demolition Hammer? Crud! It's way too conflicting. It's way too. What causes a pit? What opens up a pit around the casket? I need a pit around my casket in 50 years from now. So you got 50 years to make this circle pit happen. I need that to happen.
I just think it's a shame that we can leave these instructions to torture those who come after us, but we won't be there to be satisfied by it ourselves. Like,
I figure in the next 50 years, Nick, we may get that Necrophagus record.
I see what you did there, Justin.
Yeah, very good.
Dude, did you hear that? They've been looking for that guy. They can't even find him. I'm like, dude, it's been.
I think he works for BMW.
BMW.
Like he's an engineer at BMW.
Oh man. Well, that would actually explain a lot because when you get started with BMW, sometimes you never get to finishing that car because there's such misery to work on. So that would actually explain that. So he probably started working on a BMW and is never to be seen, found, and heard from ever again.
Well, like he's like an engineer that designs the cars.
Isn't it amazing?
Okay, well, it's a BMW, and as great as they are to drive, they are a problem to work on.
Isn't it interesting though how they designed BMWs without turn signals? They don't put turn signals in BMWs.
I say this with respect to my fellow BMW drivers. Those cars are great to drive, but anyone who's worked on a German car that's not exclusive to BMW can vouch on the hell that is to work on those cars. You want to have your patience tested? Work on a German car. Just saying.
It was a 1973 BMW that convinced me to earn enough money to pay somebody else to work on my cars for the rest of my life.
Yes, but it is a car that could sweep across Europe in a space of a couple of weeks.
I got second place in an autocross with it, so it was good for that.
I'm thinking more of, when they first made them.
Oh, they were great tourers. You could go. They would just eat up the miles for a car from the early 1970s. There weren't many that could do it.
They were very good for blitzing across Europe. The Volkswagens.
Oh, dude, I love a lot of the dialogue that freaking Tommy Lee Jones has about the fact that they're like, dude, he's probably dead. And he just goes off. He's so stubborn. No, we're gonna find his ass. I'm not accepting this crap. And all the lines he says to these guys about not accepting, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" W. Marshall. And he's like, "Leave me a cup of coffee and chocolate donut with some of those little sprinkles on top. Will you? As long as you're thinking." I was like, "Oh man." Oh. And I want to find. He should be dead. Okay, good. That'll make it easier to find his body.
Exactly. That'll make it. Yeah, I love that. That'll make him easier to catch. Now go get him. When he comes off the dam and the guy goes, "He's fish food." It's like, great. Get yourself a bamboo pole and go catch the fish that ate him.
Even though it kind of reminds me, like he just spits out great dialogue, kind of like the way Clint Eastwood did in Heartbreak Ridge. Every line was just something great and quotable and would work amazing on a shirt. Absolutely awesome stuff.
Yes.
Oh, Angry Gamer here. I got great news for you, buddy. There is a 4K coming out of this, I think, next month. Tom, if you're out there listening, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's next month. The 4K of the Fugitive, which I cannot wait. And also, I know we got a lot of fans of the Warriors here. Guys, the Warriors on 4K is coming as well.
Trouble with the 4K is you'll be able to see the individual strands of hair in Joe Pantoliani's weave that he's wearing.
Yes.
Well, that
and by the way, Nick, I believe you are
on there.
I believe you're correct, Nick. The 4K of this should come out next month, November.
Okay, there you go. Oh, yeah. See, so get excited. There's your window of opportunity for some good old physical media. And we got Mr. Tickle Trunk here with a Canadian $2 says, wait, where the hell is Leslie Nielsen? And you know what? I'm going to be Captain America and say, I understood that reference. So nice one, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Nice one. Where is Leslie Nielsen carrying his handy Randy to be wrongfully accused of all his wrongdoings? Where is Leslie Nielsen? That actually makes sense. Leslie would be in the parody to that. That would actually make way too much sense. Oh man, are you sure that's not John? For what are you asking, Action Com? Oh man, that still looks like a damn brutal wound, and that's freaking. That was, dude, this is 30. Oh, that explains why it's coming out this year, because it's 30 years. Crap, dude.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
30 years since this movie came out, and it made so okay.
Hard to believe.
It is.
The slideshow going, but I want to show off some great box office numbers because this is what makes this movie so like substantial. So it came out in the dead of the summer. Usually summer movies in August usually aren't as big. So this came out. I'm gonna right here. I'll zoom in for you guys. So, August 6th. Its opening weekend was 23 million, which in 93 is not a bad number. and with a 2-hour plus movie, so that's 40 minutes above the normal time. Its second weekend drop was 5%.
Holy cow!
5%, dude.
Whoa!
Besides, I think Blue People movie 1, aka Avatar 1, what other movie has done 5% freaking percent? Like, seriously, I think you had Blue People. I think Sound of Freedom actually went up its second weekend or went down.
It did.
Sound
of Freedom went up.
Sound of Freedom went okay.
The Phantom Menace. The Phantom Menace has really good numbers.
But 5% though? Was it that low? I do know you are right in the fact that it did do gangbusters numbers because it was the first prequel movie, so it did have serious legs. But either way, regardless, 5% it held down.
So can I ask what happened to the director of this movie, Andrew Davis? Because he just kind of fell off a cliff, and I've never seen anything he's done for years. And yet this was a big hit. Under Siege is a great movie. What the hell happened to him?
Yeah, and we did that one for much earlier Toxic Tuesday. So yeah, 368 million worldwide. So clearly this movie is profitable, by the way. Very profitable. But to answer your question, that is a great question. He did drop off. Well,
I don't know what he's doing now. I don't think he's dead, but
I didn't hear anything about him dying. I don't want him to be dying.
Maybe he's just producing stuff now. I don't know.
Speaking of directors we not heard from a while, who saw the trailer for Silent Night with Joel Kinnaman?
Oh,
dude, it looks good.
That'll be the best Christmas movie since Die Hard for sure.
If it's better than Krampus, I'll go watch it.
All right. In 1993 as well, The Fugitive was the third biggest movie in 93. And to be fair, look at the competition. It has to not be number one. Jurassic Park and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you got Tom Cruise with The Firm at 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tom Cruise with The Firm. Yeah.
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
Schindler's List. Schindler's List is a great movie.
Way down there,
Free Willy, Groundhog Day, Grumpy Old Men, Cool Runnings. I
think The Fugitive should have been a sequel to Free Willy, really.
Damn.
It's out there somewhere. Willy's been released.
Yeah, this is a great line. What does he look like? 6'1", 180, brown hair, brown eyes, beard.
Boosh, maybe the doves are being saved for the actual movie. Maybe. We'll see. But anyways, dude, this is another great part where he walks by this state cop like, wow, that really just happened. He's like, hey Doc, we're looking for a prisoner from that wreck. And then he's like, oh, what does he look like? And then he's like, every time he had a beard, he's like, every time I look in the mirror, pal, except for the beard, of course.
Hiding in plain sight is always.
And then the cop goes, points at him, and he looks down and he pulls up his fly and says, thanks, and walks out.
See, right here, I know the guy right here. This is the closest I would get to a follow-up, but this is it. We never see our guy heard from for the rest of the movie. And I get it. He didn't want to get outed. I don't blame him for that. But I would have liked to have seen that quick scene, like maybe like a quick moment, like to break away from the action for 40 seconds, just to show what's the update on this guy. Does he live? Does he not? And be like, hey, just so you know, he made it. And I'm kind of weirded out because he got convicted, but he saved my life. That could have been like the words. I'm paraphrasing here, but something along those lines, that could have been the dialogue for that. I'm saying now I'm doing. Am I being a critical drinker, script doctor fixes? Because this movie doesn't really need fixing. I feel like it's just the one scene that could have been added. We'll call it a Nick Weiser ads.
Well, they did do an interesting play on that, Nick, on that first one where he says something to the EMTs. He doesn't go in with them. He steals the ambulance. He says, "Oh, and he's got a puncture in the thoracic region." And as they're wheeling the kid into the ER, one of the EMTs says to the other, "How did you know that from looking at his face?"
Yeah, that's another great line. Yeah.
Yeah, so he does two different Good Samaritan things. That's his first one. And but that's the thing. He's a doctor. He can't help himself. It might blow his cover. It might bring them down on him. But he's like, there's somebody here who's hurting and they don't know what to do with him. I do. So I'm going to tell them. And he does that twice. He just had 2 points in the movie, even though it threatens to blow his cover and put the marshals back on it, right on his trail again. But he can't help himself, which is how he's the good guy. He's not a murderer. He's a doctor. He cares about patients. He cares about people. He wants to heal people.
Yeah, he did leave an invoice behind though after that diagnosis.
Yeah, he sent him a bill. He sent him a consultant. Yeah, he sent him a consultancy bill for about $5,000. But hey, what do you want? Forget about it.
Well, that's the line. Is that line coming up now where they say, what does he do? And the vascular surgery.
It's passed. It's just
passed. But yeah, it's like, what does he do? Yeah, it's like he earns a lot more money than you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because surgeons, typically make the most money in the medical profession, and it's very well. And as a surgeon, a pilot, and there's something about, they're always highly regarded too. So that's part of this movie too, where you're like, you don't think that a doctor, someone who's dedicated to saving everyone or helping people, could go wrong. That obviously doesn't mean it can't happen. But
that joke, somebody who makes a lot more money than you is actually one that I've seen from a stand-up from Jesus, what was his name? He was on Saturday Night Live. He was in City Slickers, New York comic. And he did
Billy Crystal, right?
Yes, Billy Crystal. He said,
okay, yeah.
I've always wondered what's the difference between an optician and an ophthalmologist. And the guy in the audience said about $100,000 a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Billy Crystal went, I'm supposed to tell the jokes here.
It used to be funny.
Yep.
And then I guess we should also mention too, as someone in the chat pointed out, I can't remember who pointed it out too, that this is loosely based or allegedly based on the Sam Shepard story from the 50s, which was kind of the O.J. Simpson type case of the 50s. So it was a doctor was convicted of murdering his pregnant wife, and then it was a huge trial in the 50s, and he was released from prison after a decade in prison, and he hired F. Lee Bailey. That actually made F. Lee Bailey's career. So in 1954, a jury convicted Shepard of a second-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison. However, after a decade behind bars, Shepard's new criminal defense attorney, F. Lee Bailey, convinced the U.S. Supreme Court to grant his client a new trial because he had been denied due process. At the second trial, Shepard was found not guilty in November 1966. The case put Bailey on the map, and he went on to represent many high-profile clients, including the Boston Strangler, Patty Hearst, and of course O.J. Simpson. So, you can't say that it's exactly based on that case, but it's. I'm sure it took inspiration from that. So
probably point out that it's not the actor and playwright Sam Shepard; it's a different Sam Shepard.
Yes,
right.
It's confused me when I saw that. I didn't know that the actor was a murderer.
yeah, different
Sam Shepard.
Shit! I just bought these shoes. Shut up, Cosmo.
That's one of the classic crime mysteries. Did he do it or not do it? And you get people arguing back and forth. And of course now, murder mysteries are huge again with the podcasts and Only Murders in the Building, and so it's a really interesting case. That's what makes these these are pretty straightforward stories, but that's what makes it so good. It's not too you get some nice twists and turns in it.
People love true crime stuff.
The true crime stuff is really
they love it.
really huge now. So it's really an interesting setup here. Here's the I didn't kill my wife.
Oh, the great line.
Yeah,
I didn't kill my. Oh, where's Tom owing him? I didn't kill my wife.
I like turtles. I don't care.
I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care.
I like turtles.
I didn't kill my wife, although I did think about it many times.
Thinking about it's not a crime yet.
I'm sorry. I've seen your wife. Why are you gay?
It is a great scene, though. It's a great scene.
It is. No, it's a fantastic scene, especially with a wild.
Look at that jump.
Right, come on, hands
Oh,
up.
God.
Who would make that jump in that situation?
Hey,
in
look how
reality?
high that
I
is.
would.
Who would
Look
do
how high
it?
that is.
Come on,
If
all
I
of you.
do-
Would you do it or wouldn't you do it?
I'd do it.
70s.
You're
I was
guy
saying.
anyway.
I was saying, yeah, I know. I was saying before you came in, I was like, I was a kayaker in whitewater, and this just freaked me out.
Yeah.
Just looking down the face of this dam freaks me
Oh
out.
yeah, I mean, I
Plus,
don't
the
think
dam it curves out from the base too, so you've got to
Yes.
jump.
They always do.
You've got to do a
Yeah.
you've got to do a running jump there too. So I don't know if he in the movie
He
kinda
actually
just
lands
jumped.
on the face of the dam and slides
Yeah.
down it, which is why I'm worried
Oh,
about what's
that-
at the bottom of it.
I wouldn't do it. I don't think. I
Ah,
think
gee,
I would. I
no.
could accidentally fall off it because I'm so clumsy, but that would be different.
Well,
Okay,
I have
take me in.
vertigo.
Ah!
Yeah, I have vertigo, so I would fall off it just because
Oh,
I got
I-
dizzy.
I would get vertigo too. Yeah, I hate those heights. But,
Oh, that's
Tommy Lee
insane.
Jones plays a really good U.S. Marshal here because
Oh yes,
when I
he
studied
does.
in law enforcement, like his I don't care response is the fucking response you get whenever
That's
there's
right.
a situation like this where somebody's like there's potential violence, and the U.S. Marshal looks at the situations like, I've got a job to do. You're going in. We're going in together. You're going to be fine. Just follow the process. And that's the entire deadpan delivery they have. That is their flow chart in their head. It's great.
Mhm.
I don't care.
It's such a great line. Yeah, I mean, if I knew like if I was in his position, yeah, I'd take the chance. And it's just like, well, I could be in jail. If I end up back in jail, stuck, screwed, and fucked for the rest of my life, or do I take the chance, hurt a little bit for a few days, but away from them? I definitely.
what are
take
the
chance
odds
and
of-
go for the
he
jump.
used
what
the
are the
force.
odds, though?
He used the force on that jump, though, didn't he? Isn't that how the
No.
force
Yeah.
worked?
Ironically, there was a lightsaber at the bottom, which impaled him.
I think, as I said before, I think the deputy or the local cop was right. It's a 1 in a million.
Yeah.
The odds, it's better than betting on the Powerball, but not by much.
I would say you'd have maybe a
Oh, the
10%
Powerball-
chance of surviving. 10%.
There's a big Powerball, everyone. Don't leave the show to go out and buy a ticket. But I think it's over. Is it over $1 billion again, or whatever the heck it's
It's
at?
over $1 billion.
Yeah, I just bought a ticket
Yeah.
like last night it was over $1 billion.
Yeah, the problem is
Good
if
luck.
you win, you owe the government so much money in taxes that you end up owing them 450 million out of
Oh
the
yeah,
1
the
billion.
government's the big winner of the Powerball.
In fact, you probably owe them money, you don't get anything, and you pay them that and 450 million.
That reminds me, what's his name? Adam from Killswitch Engage, the metalcore band. He won a vehicle on The Price is Right. And apparently, like, he won that in like a big cash prize, and he ended up selling the vehicle a year later because he said the amount of taxes he owed on it was not worth it for that vehicle, even though he
actually,
won
I think, yeah,
on The Price is Right.
yeah,
I was
he
like,
actually won
what
both
trash
showcases.
is that?
Well, that's
No,
what
he-
happened with Oprah. Remember when Oprah gave away all the cars to everyone in her audience? And then she had
Yeah.
to pay the tax. She ended up having to pay the taxes for a bunch of people because in certain
Oprah
states,
gave a
the
bunch of poor
tax,
people cars.
Yeah,
And they had
Oprah's
to-
a
and they
lot.
couldn't afford the taxes.
Oprah's a lot more
$8,000 in
filthier rich than
taxes.
Adam from Killswitch, so it ain't even close. People at least, granted, I cannot stand Oprah, but people have at least heard of her. Killswitch Engage is nowhere known as she is.
They're still a fine band.
So no, I really
Sorry,
like the
Oprah's
first
in
one.
Killswitch Engage. I wasn't paying attention there.
Ah!
Oprah's...
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
I thought that's what you said. Sorry, I was just...
Oh man.
Don't.
Anyways, let's get
Oprah's
back
part
to
of CIA.
our boy here, who's a little bit wet, a little bit hurting. He really blends in with the leaves, and man,
He's Rambo in here.
Yeah, he was rambling this. So this was his first blood air. That cigar's huge.
What a stogie.
I shall make it a crime to smoke small cigars.
Winston Churchill.
Small cigars.
Yes.
Solid Ward.
Actually, it's originally Ben Franklin. I shall make it a crime to
Yeah.
drink small beer, is what he said.
Right.
What? Did he really?
Yeah. It was near beer. That's what they called near beer. It was small beer. You had it for breakfast.
Yeah, because
And
it was a staple of food for
Yeah, it was.
centuries. Beer back in the from the Middle Ages onwards.
You couldn't drink the water.
Yeah. That and the fact that everybody liked getting drunk back then too.
Typically, it was less alcohol content than now. Modern brewing has made it things much more alcohol content than then it would be like equivalent of a 1 or 2%.
Okay. Just a quick digression. I watched the thing about medieval brewing, and the top of the beer keg is low alcohol. The bottom is the stuff that gets you shit faced. Back in the day,
So always tap it
they
from
had
the bottom,
everything.
is what you're saying.
They had everything. It just depended whether you wanted the top or the bottom. But that's your choice. That is entirely your
Top
choice.
or bottom is your choice. That's true.
That's right.
I want the beers that they use to build the pyramids with. The amount of protein that you get with 2 of those beers, you can go for days and be doing physical labor. It's great.
It's worth a lifetime in chains building the pyramids. Yeah, just for that beer every day.
Mutter's milk is amazing. I've looked at the ingredient list. It looks good.
Hold on, what? I spaced out for a second. Okay.
Reading Dustin.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood that for a second. Dustin, I just saw your comment, dude. That was when they were putting out Alive or Just Breathing. That was my favorite era when they were new. Jesse during that era was raw as shit, dude. He was a savage then, man. If there was a time to see him, that was the time, because Jesse was a beast. I remember because that had come out and then he had quit like a few months later. So I was like, whoa. I remember hearing about that with Soil Work and Hypocrisy.
This movie would have been way more interesting if Harrison Ford had been picked up by a psychotic killer in that car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It gone a completely different direction.
Yeah, I can see if you look like Harrison Ford. You want to ride?
Well,
want to ride?
He did move into what's it called? That house where the kid had the drugs.
Drug dealer, yeah.
Someone who had the drugs. Someone actually had the damn drugs. Yeah, but other than that,
this is all Chicago film. This stuff up here now.
Does it look familiar, Nick?
It gets very.
That's Nick's place.
That's Nick's house.
Well, the basement anyway.
No,
that's Nick's ghetto blaster right there.
The sad part is that there's like a lot of old houses in Chicago that on the inside are actually still really nice, and I should say a lot stronger than a lot of the houses up north. A lot of the newer houses are definitely a bit more cheaply made than a lot of the older houses. Now, yes, everything now again breaks down, but I feel like the material from a lot of older houses, it seems to be stronger than a lot of the newer houses that are coming up. And at least as far as Illinois goes, I can't vouch on every other state and city, but from what I've seen of the newer houses in Illinois, bro, these houses ain't as strong as the old houses. Things break apart a lot easier. Unless you're one of those dudes who's always working on their houses, you're never gonna know. Never gonna know. And as far as turd in the trash can, I didn't know. During when I lived in Chicago twice, I didn't really see any of that. No, I definitely saw a few weird things, shady things, but I never saw a turd on the floor the way, we would hear like Gary from Nerdrotic and many others talk about, oh, yeah, you just turn around and on your left, there's a big turd right in front of that jewelry shop. And office girl, she says, new house is just plastic.
I think
in some ways, yeah.
In some
Nick,
ways.
I have to say that first time I ever went to Chicago, walking down, was it Madison Avenue or wherever they call it?
Madison.
The big
That's where
drive. Walking
Union
down there at
Station
night, I saw the
and
biggest
Ogilvy.
rat I've ever seen in my life.
That I believe.
Walking along the street.
Oh,
biggest.
No. 70s. Have you ever been to Boston?
Oh yeah.
The wharf rats there scare the cats.
Yeah, well, this was just I thought at first it was a cat. It was so big.
Yeah.
I once missed
had a Black Hawks jersey on as well, so it was just the other thing.
I once missed
It was a goalie.
train from seeing Steve Vai at the House of Blues. This was back in 2000, I think 8. I saw Steve Vai at the House of Blues. And of course, we had to get back to Ogilvy Transportation Center, which is across the street from Union Station on Madison. And I remember we had left the show, I think, before the last song and to make it to the train because it was going to be the last stop for the evening. And we made it to the train and we got there and we sat down. And as soon as we sat down, an announcement came over the PA that due to an unexpected emergency, all routes are canceled for the rest of the evening. Imagine how pissed I was.
And then it became the purge. It became the purge.
Yep.
I ended up being a buddy of mine. We ended up staying out in the city overnight, just walking around. I think I'm like, well, he's like, dude, I'm so tired. I can't make it. I'm like, well, okay, well, you could sleep right up against that post, up against the building. I'll watch over and make sure no bum and try to comes and pee on you or something. But yeah, dude, we were up overnight. I remember we got on the train at 9 a.m. the next morning.
You had no money for
and
a
when
cab?
we got on the train at 9 a.m., the train moves, and about 10 minutes later, the train had to go back because it went on the wrong freaking track.
No way. Oh man.
Yeah, I paid the price and
you're going the wrong way.
Steve Vai. Not us, the train did. It went on like
I know.
Track dude, I was so pissed. But anyways, that said, Steve Vai was great. I swear. Steve Vai sounded great. He was a shredding god of guitar. Oh man. And look how great Chicago looks here. This is definitely right by that House of Blues, the bridge territory. There's a lot of this is familiar sighting if you're on your way to the House of Blues or Harry Carey's. And then there's obviously the Lower Wacker right here. Yeah.
Lower Wacker Drive.
A place where your GPS will never work, or Google Maps, where it will never work. Drive on Lower Wacker. Your phone will be more bipolar than Amber Heard will ever be. Seriously.
So just wanted to
that's why the Blues Brothers got away.
And if she leaves a turd behind, at least you'll be in the dark and you won't even have to see it. So it kind of works out.
I was just going to say that's a great choice of actor for that role, that Jerome Crab or whatever his name is. You just know he's a double dealing, two-faced shit. Because that's the way actor's good at those roles. That guy's not for real, you know it.
So, speaking of Gerard, do you know who else was considered for Gerard? Gene Hackman.
Really?
Hackman would have been great.
I actually could have seen that. Grant, don't get wrong.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad we got Tommy Lee Jones, but Gene Hackman would have killed it.
That would work.
He would have been fine.
Absolutely awesome in this role. I'm like,
I
have no complaints here, right? And like that's a good problem to have, where the guy you didn't get is still just as quality as the guy you did get. And I know for what's it called, for Frank Kimball, they consider quite a few guys. Richard Kimball. I don't know why I keep saying Frank.
Dick Kimball.
I know Alec Baldwin was considered. I do know Kevin Costner, which would make sense because Costner was prime time at the time. He had a lot of big hits. And Michael Douglas was. The only way Michael Douglas would work is if they gave him his perm that they gave him. And hold off on that. Go back that shot right there.
Oh, yeah, go back
that shot. I want to elaborate on that building. Michael Douglas, with what's that movie called? Black Rain. Black Rain perm would have been the only way to have made him work in this movie. Can you imagine him doing all that running with that perm flying around? So, okay, this building here is this building looks like nowadays. In this movie, it looks really nice and clean. And Abigor could vouch for me. It's not far from like venues like the Cobra Lounge or the Bottom Lounge. But you drive by it nowadays. This building looks like a haunted house. It looks like a demonic building, and not the good, haunted house, cool. This looks like I'm staying away from that building because I'm probably gonna die the minute I walk in. It looks like a death building nowadays.
And
I'm not saying the area around it. The area around it's just kind of standard Chicago, but that building, it looks like you just want to stay the hell away from. And that sign is completely gone too. It's all fenced off or boarded up. I can't remember, but it just looks awful. This makes it look so nice because it was this nice. It was, but all those letters are not there. All that's not there. This building's a shithole.
What happened to Nick? Oh, he got staph infection walking by the old hospital.
That's where Abigor was spawned. I think maybe it is an abandoned building. They have a habit when they have offices that came from big buildings moved to our buildings. They do nothing with the building that was there for 800 years. So who knows how many bodies are being piled up and all that, or how many drugs are going on? Who knows? I don't know, but that's the Chicago way, I guess. Hot dogs and all. You come for the hot dogs and pizza and maybe a Sox game because there's only one baseball team, and then you get the hell out after. The other team's just some tourist attraction, by the way. That's not a real team. I'm being that guy. Oh, this is where he finds out the mystery of the handy arm. Where's Handy Randy for this? See, this is where we need Handy Randy here.
Handy Randy's he's not got a fake arm. He's got a real arm. It's just very small.
Okay. Yeah, but maybe he could use one so he can actually have
a real size.
He could fit it inside a real one. Yeah.
Oh, I would not be surprised, Abigor. Yeah, it probably is. It probably is a morgue of John. If that was what it is nowadays, that it sure looks like it. It looks like a place where only the dead are. Probably because their cemeteries got filled up. They're like, okay, where else do we place this? Okay, we'll just use this building here. Who knows?
I thought Chicago, you had that new law where there's no cash bond, so it's going to lower crime.
Right.
Yeah, and strict controls over.
Pull the other one. It's got bells. Pull the other one. It's got bells on. Yeah.
This guy's so swarmy.
Is
that a Ferrari Testarossa in the background behind him?
Looks like it.
Being younger, watching this, I did fall for his trap. Obviously, because I hadn't seen 800,000 movies at this point in time. I thought genuinely at the time he was really on this side. So it genuinely surprised me.
Not for a minute did I believe he was on the level.
Oh,
That's why they picked that actor.
No, he's good at it because he got little old me. I was like, oh, he's working with Kimball to help clear his name. And then
he wasn't the first choice, was he?
No, because there was another guy who they had, and the guy that I can't remember his name, but he had cancer, and he was a last minute replacement. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean their first choice wasn't Joe Isuzu?
Supposed to be Richard Jordan, right?
Richard Jordan.
Was it Richard Jordan?
Yeah. They died 3 weeks after or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, Action Com. That is correct.
Yeah, Living Daylights.
Actor,
that's right.
Yeah, that was Timothy Dalton, I think.
It was a Dalton.
Yeah, Timothy Dalton, because he had that and License to Kill were his 2 flicks before he dropped out of GoldenEye.
That's a great tash that guy had.
Say that again, Bruce. Sorry.
He was told to leave.
He was told to leave.
He was told to leave.
Yes.
You're not doing another movie.
You're not doing it. No. And then good old Pierce came in. And speaking of chat, while we're on James Bond, a reminder, because I know a lot of people remember, at least a few of you remember, last November we did Sean Connery, James Bond. This coming November, we are doing Roger Moore, James Bond for all of November. So it's gonna be a blast. November Bond. It's gonna be great because I decided, you know what, we have a theme here with last November, and it kind of makes sense because a lot of movies when I came growing up with Pierce Brosnan, a lot of those Bond movies were coming out around November, December theatrically. So I was like keeping to the theme of that.
I have an audio cue for Roger Moore.
Oh, do you?
The Saint.
Hey, I was gonna say,
The Saint.
so you can buy that corgi is for sale again. They're reproducing all the old corgis, and
I had
of course you can get the Saint. You can buy it now for like $60.
I had all those as a kid, and like an idiot, I let my mother give them all away when when I left home for a few years later. She said, "Oh, I gave all those cars away."
Oh, come on. You're an adult now. Go buy a real Volvo P1800.
I had all the Matchbox and all the corgis, all the dinky toys, thousands of them.
Oh,
No,
thank you very much, 70s mom. I enjoyed your collection right now.
But I was in the military. I didn't want to cart them around everywhere. So, they're just toy cars.
Action Com. As far as assisting the U.S. Marshal, it would depend. I mean, there are certain circumstances. If I know someone's innocent, yeah, I'm not gonna help. Especially nowadays with how corrupt the U.S. government is. I would absolutely not. Now, if I know someone is actually doing wrong, I'd have to at least think about it because it's like, okay, if I turn so and so in, I know they're doing some wrong, and I should turn them in because they're doing some wrong. Is the government going to hold me accountable for turning someone in because of how backward ass the system is nowadays? It's more of I should, but should I? Because will they find a way to spin it off on me? Because especially in Illinois, Illinois is so backwards with how they operate. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with that, but I hope you catch my drift there. If any other guys want to answer that really quickly, they can. Otherwise, that's all I got to add on that.
Quick answer: no, wouldn't help out. Sorry.
I'd like to be in the police tact unit. They're very nice guys. Hello, how are you? We're here to smooth things over. The tact unit. Let's all just come together peacefully.
Unless you ate the last pizza, Nick. That's true.
That's right.
Oh no, it is not my job to turn them in. Like I said, if I know someone's innocent, then yeah, I'm definitely not going to say something.
If they put pineapple on pizza, I'd turn them in a heartbeat.
Yep.
We're not.
That's evil.
Let's go back to Handy Randy and these handy arms here. The fact that he sneaks into the room and he goes about his business.
Well, they're going to get kinky here with the extra limbs.
Oh, dude. I was like, I didn't understand, especially at the time. Like, why is he brushing the blinds? Is he trying to make like the blinds he cleaning too? But I think it bothered.
You don't clean your blinds, Nick. You don't clean your blinds. You know they get dusty.
We don't have blinds. We don't have blinds here. We have these giant long thingies
things that you pull down.
That like you move to the side. I don't know what they're called because my life is more important on focusing on pizza than what the things are for opening a window. I don't know the names. I'll admit it. I don't know. It's because I have bigger priorities in my life than to know the name. Unless it needs to be replaced. I'll just walk into a shop and like, hey, I need you to replace this piece. I don't know what it is, but I need it replaced. And that's it. I pay the bill and it's all good.
I love the fact that they have him do all this work to get into the prosthetic department at the hospital so he can access the computer and narrow down the field of people that could possibly have been the man with the artificial arm. Because otherwise, how the hell is he going to find out? But he's a doctor, so he knows to go in because they have a record of everybody who's gotten a prosthetic. So he's searching the computer for them. And he narrows it down.
Right, yeah.
And that's what brings it back. Go ahead, finish it, and I'll complete it.
Yeah, it's the thing is that they didn't take a lot of time on it, but they actually give you a plausible way for him to find out who the man was that killed his wife, which, so many movies wouldn't bother to do. They would he would magically know, or whatever. He'd bump into him in a diner or a restaurant or something and go, oh, that's him. No, he actually has to fabricate an ID, get the clothes, get into the hospital, infiltrate the room, sit down, pretend to be cleaning the blinds while he's accessing the computer, and he's filtering out all of the things he knows about the man with the prosthetic arm until he gets down to a small enough sample that he can print it out and then take it and go to a payphone and start making phone calls, see if he can find somebody. I thought it was brilliant.
To add to your point, that brings it back to what I was saying at the very beginning of the stream, and hopefully that brings a greater understanding for any of those who may have been confused by what I was saying. Because in most other movies, for him they would have had the lead character find these rooms just because, well, they need it to further advance the story, to make it convince the story. The fact that he works in the medical field, he knows where these rooms are. He knows how to look for these things on the computer because he's in this profession. Hopefully, for those who are confused,
major part of
this makes it that much it makes it part of his character. It makes it that much more believable, and I do love that aspect because they didn't have to do it. Because most movies we've had that we've enjoyed over the years, we have kind of rolled with that convenience, and that's fine. But it's so much more awesome when they put in that actual work. Like, you know what? Hey, why don't I make that part of his profession? It's such a simple thing, but it works so much more because, well, it's not that so, because now you got to make him know all these things. You got to make him learn procedures. So there's still technically, in that sense, more work to do. But you know what? That's called not lazy writing. So shout out, man. Shout out.
Yes.
And Mveld asks, how do I donate to the fund and fund? There's a cash icon if you are on the app. It should be on the left corner. I don't have my phone open. Someone wants a
$sign in a rectangle on the bottom left corner.
$sign rectangle in bottom left corner. You click on that icon and then you choose the amount. Thank you. Also,
this is. Just want to point out, I mentioned it before, so before you go on, let me just say, this is his second Good Samaritan moment, and it almost gets him busted because Julianne Moore's doctor character sees him looking at the x-ray and he goes, why would a janitor be so fascinated by an x-ray? Now, it's a hobby of mine. Oh, really? What other hobbies do you have? Brain surgery?
Yeah, dude, that was a great line. I laughed so hard. I'm like, even though a lot of these, that's what makes also too, a lot of these lines are not meant to be comical, but the delivery of them makes them comical. And they're very sporadic moments. So when they do happen, they're that much funnier. It's not where it kind of kills the vibe and the weight and the intensity of these scenes. They're very sparingly comments to have a quick laugh and then get carried on to the next suspenseful moment. So yeah,
it keeps moving. It never stops. Yeah. And you're always in suspense here, like that he's going to get caught at any second too, right? I mean, you're waiting for him to get, like, who's not going to recognize Harrison Ford? It's Han Solo walking around there. But I mean, but 70s. That's why you know he's innocent. Yeah.
You wanted to say something before I.
No, you said it, mate. You were talking about it. The fact that he doesn't gain extra superpowers in this movie because of the situation he's in. He's a doctor and he uses those skills because he knows the medical system, so he knows where to look and where he needs to go to find the info. It's something he would know. He doesn't suddenly become a super action hero, you know. It's plausible.
James Newton Howard, and I'm surprised we actually haven't brought this up once, did the score for this movie. And this is very interesting because now I feel like the music he adds to the emotion and the weight of each scene in this movie. But he was actually not pleased with how the score turned out, even though it was very well received by critics and fans. He was not pleased. He's happy that people liked it, but he thought he just did a bad job on it overall. He didn't really. I don't know of him saying anything about any deadline issues, but he just thought he didn't do a good job on it. But
I was
people
reading
loved
too
it.
Jerry Goldsmith had done like temporary placeholders. And of course, Jerry Goldsmith is, one of the legendary, composers for movies. And he said the quote was, when it was hired for it, I was terrified. He became more despondent after listening to Jerry Goldsmith's work, which had been using as placeholders for scenes that needed music. he wasn't confident he could match the quality of those temporary cues, but he refused to quit. Eventually conceded his score would be a quasi failure. So, but yeah, I think the score was pretty darn good. But yeah, he said I didn't think my score was worthy of an Academy Award nomination. But it worked, and the movie was so good. It makes everyone look better. So that's interesting. Yeah, I guess when you're trying to follow in one of your heroes or idols too, maybe that's got to be tough too, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Red Shirt, this brings it back to once again another callback you're bringing up from earlier, when another clearing of Kimball's name. She mentioned how he saved the kid.
Yep.
I was like, wow, damn. And then she, even though he ran off on her, that was classic, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. How's the boy doing? He saved his life. And yeah, that's just one more of those taps on the marshal's head. He's everything he knows about this guy at first is he's a second degree murderer. He killed his wife brutally. We have to bring him in, except this guy keeps doing things that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
If he's the guy I'm after. So this is another one of those, and this is about that I didn't kill my wife, I don't care, where the payoff is coming at the end. These are the things that are tapping on Tommy Lee Jones's character's mind as a cop, because he's going, this doesn't fit a pattern. And cops are very good at spotting, because I have 3 of them in my family. Cops are very good at spotting patterns. This guy's got the pattern of being
MO.
Right, an MO or a series of crimes, or a series of bad girlfriends, or whatever it is. It's like they spot consistencies, and when something isn't consistent, that makes a cop go, "Hey, wait a minute, maybe the picture's wrong. Let me start thinking about this differently. Is there any way to fit that piece into my jigsaw puzzle?" Because they have a jigsaw puzzle, and then you start throwing pieces at them that don't fit, and they go, wait a minute, maybe this is the wrong puzzle. And that's what Tommy Lee Jones is doing here, and what he's getting from this doctor. And it matters a lot for the story, because, as we'll find out at the end, it makes a difference at the end. It affects the whole story.
I would totally disagree, Redshirt. I think Tommy Lee Jones's character does a terrible job. He should have strip searched Julianne Moore, for starters.
That's so toxic.
Now that would have been toxic.
What a gorgeous actress she was. Yeah, I was just saying, save the ginger.
She's not to be trusted. She could be concealing anything there.
Vulnerable.
Just could have waited a couple years and then she's in Boogie Nights.
I'm about to have sex with Indiana Jones. Give me my Grammy. Give me my Oscar.
So a dereliction of duty, if you ask me. She could have been hiding anything under that coat.
Well, if they'd hired Mark Wahlberg to be the marshal, he probably would have.
Yeah. He wouldn't have stripped Jane Lynch, though. He wouldn't have stripped Jane Lynch.
Yeah, Jane Lynch was in this movie too.
Yes, she was in it earlier. Yeah.
Well, it's fun. Yeah, when you
Kimball, right?
I think that was one of her first movies. Yeah, but now she's so famous, you see her. But back then, who the heck is that? Right? Yeah.
So did I just make this stream toxic? I hope so.
I hope so.
Well, that helped.
The movie is still not toxic.
No, the movie overall is really not. Besides, and I think I mentioned before the show started, where they pass that hotel, it says men only. I was just like, wow, I want to know if that building is still up to this day with the same sign and all.
It depends how you define a man.
Especially
yeah, nowadays. Are you dead naming somebody?
Sweet, anyone could go in there.
Are you assuming their gender?
Mm-hmm. There's Handy Randy right there. Randy
well,
Trump.
He's right there.
Am I assuming Handy Randy's gender?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's a politician's answer. There's a politician's answer.
I have no idea.
You're assuming that Handy Randy could grasp his own situation.
Is that
Is
what
he
the
having a
kids are calling it
Nebraska
these
situation?
days?
Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? That's why the water.
Oh yeah,
Full
the
of vomit.
parade. Yeah.
The guy's like, why can't they diet blue for the rest of the year?
Diddly potatoes. I think on the Pride Month they should dye it all the colors of the rainbow. Just have it equally spaced colors all the way across it.
It just needs to be a big black pond, blacker than the blackest black times infinity.
I have to admit, Mrs. Redshirt and I both burst out laughing when he went into the elevator and was surrounded by cops.
Yeah.
All these cops come to the elevator with him, and he just has to stand at the back and just try to be invisible.
It's the safest place. They'll never find him there.
Exactly.
In a room full of cops. Yep.
That's the beauty of this scene, though, is because you're like, holy crap, this ballsy son of a bitch who is a wanted man in Chicago is going into the elevator with all these cops, and he's just doing this with that element of danger.
It's the last place they would look, though. It's the smartest place to go.
No, you're right. It is a small place because it's just it's the whole hiding in plain sight. So it's just hey, I'm walking amongst you. I'm blending in with your crowd. He's just acting like he's just another guy who's coming and going here. But so it's still a ballsy move because remember a lot of there are police officers. Obviously there's some dim-witted ones, but then you got the ones who are so sharp that they can see a split second of you or just a glimpse, and it's just oh, hey, there's that son of a bitch.
It does bring a lot of tension to it when he goes into these places. It's very tense.
It does.
Yeah.
And he has to eliminate this guy. He has to make sure he's not the one.
Yep.
That's why he has to go in here. He has to see him. And as soon as he does, he's like, nope, I made a mistake. The guy's like, well, come on, talk to me, man. I got nothing to do in here. He's like, no, sorry.
He's very cruel. He taunts this guy with promising a conversation and leaves. That's very cruel. He's a heartless man.
Well, he's a man on a mission.
Well, these people with two arms are very, not, too supportive of people in prison, I guess, right? So it's just not.
I would say he doesn't have a leg to stand on, but it's the wrong set of limbs.
Rim shot, maestro, please.
He's mostly armless. Mostly armless.
You mean he disarmed him?
Yes, he was very disarming in the conversation.
Why did he look up when he said, "Richard, you should just keep going. Don't look back."
But that's an interrogation technique.
Right?
You throw something at somebody to see if they react to it. They did that in The Great Escape.
Yeah.
The guy, they're getting on the bus, and the guy says, good luck. And he says, thank you. And it's like, ouch, crap.
Yes.
Yeah. So, no, that actually is an interrogation technique where you throw something at somebody unexpectedly to see if the way they react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I wonder how Harry Callahan would feel seeing Kimball on the run the way that he does.
Man's got to know his limitations.
Hey, if he just shouted the Black Hawk suck down the stairwell, he wouldn't have looked up. No,
nobody would have
no one would have looked up. Nobody.
Except for one guy in a bad shirt would have flipped him to bird and kept going.
That's right.
He could have pinned it on Jordan. Hey, this guy said he hated the Chicago Bulls because this was right around that time that Jordan had the first of the first of two three-peats. So it's okay. So his movie's released in 93, filmed in 92. He could say, "Hey, this guy hates Michael Jordan, the Bulls. Arrest him," and or jump him. Something. People have gone all over. That would have been the perfect distraction technique. And they're like, "Oh, hey, jump that guy. Who cares about the guy running away from him? This guy said he hates the Bulls." That would have actually been cause for getting jumped in the 90s. If you weren't a fan of Jordan the Bulls, what? Who?
Yeah, Tom Lee Jones's character would have been lucky to get out of there alive in that case. He'd be like, I'm a U.S. Marshal. And some guy would be like pounding on him going, I don't care.
It'd be funny if the Blues Brothers had driven across the plaza right there.
Yes, it would.
Right now.
Is the Sausage King of Chicago in this parade? Abe Froman?
I thought that was Nick. He's the Sausage King, isn't he?
No, in this parade, you know. Oh, come on.
I don't see Mads.
Yeah. Oh man. See,
They should have started saying "Twist and Shout" on this. Would have been much better.
Oh yeah.
all you
Instead,
needed
they're
was
singing diddly 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 potatoes.
They actually filmed this during the parade, which is pretty cool. They had
Very cool.
this is the real parade, and they filmed during it. So
yeah,
it's pretty wild.
That was at a time where the kids could be out with for that type of stuff. Granted, I know they can be, but it wasn't as prominent the way nowadays. Sorry, less prominent the way it is now is what I meant to say. Like when I lived in a town right next to Chicago, man, I could just go down the street as a kid. So if I want to go to the convenience store, get some fruit snacks, or if I want to go to KB Toys at the mall, or to get like a Spider-Man figure, or go see a movie at the theaters, like everything was so just a lot more laid back during as I call it, the Jordan era. Man, it was good times, dare I say, even in good old Chirac before it had the rackiness involved. And this is what I like about this scene too is these are like, granted, I know the news has technically been stupid for the last 30 years. We just know more about it now, but it makes you think, what if we had a world where we actually had reporters and journalists that actually challenge the system on doing their job correctly, which we don't have at all for the last several years. Because I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, it feels refreshing to see journalists and reporters actually doing their job and not trying to be an opinion piece, but trying to just get to the truth no matter what the story is. That's what it should be about. It's about asking the tough questions, the challenging questions, not, well, we gotta cater to these people because now they bought us all off. So, yeah, I miss those moments like this.
Just Nick, you obviously don't subscribe to Lisa Haven or Ivory Heckler. Those are two girls that got broomed out of mainstream broadcast news, both Fox and CNN, and they've got their separate Patreon pages, and they have their YouTube channels. They got their BitChute and Rumble stuff. They're pretty popular, but you got to search out independent journalists.
Well, I know, but as far as big names, I know what you're saying, and I do agree, Bruce, with that, even though I'm not familiar with those names. Obviously, I know they're out there now as far as the independent market, but as far as the faces who are there more immediately and who are up front, I guess you could say for the mainstream audience, it would be nice to see if those are the people who are front and center, because nowadays it's all prepared. Certain people get access to that type of information first, almost like the Hollywood equivalent of an all access is what I'm getting at.
Okay, I mean, and we still have InfoWars. They still have a viable channel.
Oh no, I'm not doubting the credibility. I'm just saying I know they have good things at a lot of these things. I'm not. I think we might be misunderstanding here. What I'm saying is that they're not. They don't have the visibility of being seen as the main go-to for these things.
No, they don't. And it used to be rewarded whenever you would actually come out with a gotcha question on somebody who is supposed to be like a sacred cow. Nowadays, you can't do that.
Thank you. Okay, I think you're understanding more of where I'm getting at. Yes, I know there are those people out there. They absolutely exist, and there's tons of them, and they're great. But they're not the people who get access to a lot of these things first. Mm-mm. And they're not the people who get to be on the ground on top of it for a lot of these things first. That's where I'm getting at. Hopefully that clarifies any confusion. Yeah. If I did, maybe I could have worded that a little better, and I apologize.
I'm sorry.
No, hey, I'm sorry too. Mutual apologizing going on here. See, we can.
I love you, Nick.
I love you.
I love you, man.
We'll touch chickens later,
and we'll have pizzas too. While doing that.
Oh yeah, we will have much pizza.
Oh, the pizza will be staggeringly delicious. But I love this because he calls freaking Gerard and he asked the question, the important question. And you're like, oh, this is it. They're like, Track
On a
him.
bricks.
Track him. Yeah.
He asks the important
This
question:
where
do
a
you
lot
put
of
pineapple on your pizza?
He's still
Fine
stuck on
line.
that.
He's still stuck at that. Oh. And Red Shirt, I do know who those two are. I'm
Yes.
definitely aware. I'm definitely
Yeah,
aware
okay.
of them. Like I said, I was just trying to come at from people who have the all access first. That's all.
Yes. No. I know. They used to be. Both of those used to be.
Yeah.
They
those were the
aren't
champions
anymore.
people. No,
For a couple of reasons. Yeah. That's they told too much truth, to be honest. And they got themselves in trouble. So there are journalists who used to be mainstream who refused to obey the narrative and follow the narrative. And those are the ones you want to find.
The truth was the reward. Now it's the consequence. And the lies of promotion. Yes. The lies of promotion. So for me, it's just watching these scenes in this. I'm just like, hell yeah. This is what it should be about. It just feels good to see these scenes.
Yes. This is what we thought journalists were back when I was a kid. I mean, 50 years ago, we thought journalists were like this. That hasn't been for the better part of the last 50 years. We just really started noticing it recently because they decided to stop pretending.
Yeah, well, everything's going opinion too. They don't even couch the opinions.
Yes.
Where's Tom when we need him? Remember what you told me.
You said I don't care. That's right. I don't care. I'm trying to solve a puzzle.
And I just found a big piece.
Yeah.
And he doesn't hang up. He just leaves it
He
there.
leaves it there so they can trace it because he wants them to come to this place.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
He leaves it for the trace. That's what's so awesome. He's like, I'm calling you so you can find out where I am, but I'm going to leave before you get here. And remember when the doctor, who turns out to be, the doctor they were interrogating, said, he's smart. You'll never catch him. And they said, is he as smart as you? And the guy said, smarter.
Right.
And he really is. He's smarter. He really is smarter.
He eventually catches the guy. He eventually
exactly. He solves the crime. He solves the crime where nobody in the Chicago PD could be bothered to look further than the end of their nose.
Yeah, they had their man as far as they were concerned. Yeah.
Well, that's I hate to say it, but again, knowing police procedures, that's altogether too common. That's why you need to be able to hire a good lawyer.
Of course, back then DNA wasn't as. I think was DNA even an option back then? I'm trying to, or was this in in '93? So DNA keeps advancing in terms of who they can catch.
You could leave your DNA wherever you wanted, even then.
Even then, yeah.
That's another rim shot, Maestro.
And now they're catching people, using 23andMe and all the online DNA sites, because then they can check people down in the family history, and they can see they've caught some murderers that way, where it wasn't the exact the person was an exact match, but it let them target someone. So and the other thing too that's so different in this is just 1993 doesn't seem that long ago, but there's no, I think, well, you had cell phones, but they're pretty primitive. You're just getting cell phones.
I wait a minute, Mark. I've got to take issue with you. 1993 was precisely half my lifetime ago. It seems like a very long time ago to me.
I don't know.
I know what you mean.
It's just impressive.
Exactly
you know what I was trying to say, right?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Crud. But
it was half my lifetime ago.
There's no surveillance. Like everyone today is like $100. Well, not everyone, but you could get $100, $50 Ring doorbell that would have, solved this whole crime, right? Or crime wouldn't have happened. So, newer movies have to cover up different things, but surveillance cameras everywhere, use of credit cards. It's much tougher to be a fugitive today. Just with all the digital tracks that you leave behind. So it doesn't take anything away from this movie, but watching it, that's the only thing. Not that it doesn't hold up. It's just it's a different world, and it's kind of interesting how you could, God, it must have been much easier to hide in 1993. Like, why didn't a kid today? Like, what about the Ring doorbell? Did the door surveillance camera in the in the house catch that? Because they do say they has quite a nice surveillance camera.
I'd make the counter argument to that I would argue you're right, but there's a no part. And the reason why I say no part is there's a statement I've always, old coworker once somebody said that sometimes the better you make the technology, the better the crook you make them. Because a lot of crooks are go-getters in that sense that they plan for things. They're always keeping up with a lot of them keep up. Sure, you get a lot of dumbfounded idiots, but you got ones who plan ahead. They know, they study things. They want to know because they're planning their getaway. They want to make sure everything goes according to a plan that they set. So they time things out. They learn. They read the room. They read the environment around them. So and because technology changes, they got to change with the technology to adapt to that. So that means they got to find a way to unplug like the surveillance camera. They definitely got to be a lot more aware of their surroundings. And obviously, I hate how this sounds. It sounds like I'm trying to justify bad guys being bad, but I'm not. It's just the truth. That a lot of them are very smart at their craft.
I think typically,
as
Nick,
shitty
you're right.
as that craft is,
typically
but a lot of them they know
been
what they're
ahead
doing.
of the game. Yeah,
yes,
criminals can be ahead of the game.
That's their goal, and that's why they know how long it takes for cops to arrive at a scene. That's why they have to be ready for those things. Obviously, you have outliers, ones who screw up, rookies too. But all other than that, there is a method to this per se. And well, we could call this pre 9/11 / pre Patriot Act to be more specific. Pre Patriot Act.
And it doesn't take away from the movie, but it's just interesting to compare the time periods. That's that like he's got a payphone, right now. So I mean, Mike, I don't wonder if my kids have even seen a payphone ever.
Mark, I got news for you. Remind me, text message me later since you have my number. I will message you the payphone that is in my area. Straight up works and everything.
You should do a video short, Nick. You should do a short with you on the payphone calling someone. No one will believe you're on a payphone.
Exactly.
Smart. That's the phone Nick uses to order those special pizzas.
That's right. The special pizzas. Gotta go use the payphone, guys. I gotta order a special pizza.
Pineapple.
With pineapple, yes.
Oh.
Today's the 3rd of October. 30 years ago today, I graduated boot. Holy cow.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did nothing except for 50 push-ups.
50 push-ups.
Give me 50 right now, Bruce. I can do 2.
Let him cook.
No, you don't have to do 50, Bruce.
I love it.
Nice legs, Bruce. Nice flip-flops. Oh, our man here's doing it. Oh, live. Look at that, guys. Oh, yeah, go Bruce. Yeah.
Bruce isn't actually moving. It's the floor that's going up and down.
The earth is going up and down. Yeah.
Oh, I can feel the testosterone rising.
That's pretty good, I have to say.
That is pretty damn good.
I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, I mean, all that work on those lead figures is obviously paying off with the push-ups.
Huge.
I can do 20. I'm sorry, I can just do 20, guys.
That's all right. That was still impressive.
Please, Bruce, please don't expire on the stream. That wouldn't be nice.
Yes. Matt's just getting excited.
I did 20 in good form, and I'm happy.
Yes, that was Cypher from Matrix. Yeah, we went over that about Joe Pantoliano earlier.
Yes.
How he definitely has a lot of great parts. Even though they're small parts frequently, they were great. Super Chad looks like an Only Balls account.
All right, someone better clip that. We got to have that as a short.
Exactly.
Short. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
that was good.
Bruce bringing the toxicity to the channel tonight.
Anybody
Oh,
here
that
know
was-
what this is? Anybody
Something
here
for
is
Handy
real-
Randy to use.
You use that for your
wheel?
yoga, don't you?
Oh, I thought it was like a shake weight with a wheel on it.
No.
That's for push-ups, right?
It's exercise. Isn't it?
This thing here.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're dangerous.
This is. I used to use this a lot.
Is that for rolling pizza?
Like,
Wow, we got an exercise from Bruce
It's all.
Lombardo
It's all
on
that's
screen.
left of Bruce's bicycle after he left it out in the street in Chicago.
I
Though, you know what
loved it.
wait a minute. You know what those things are for? They're for falling on your face when you pull it too far back and putting the video on TikTok.
yeah. I'll have to do that later. Thanks, guys.
It's Handy Randy's bicycle.
Thank
isn't
you,
it?
Bruce.
It's
That
Handy
was
Randy's
amazing.
bicycle.
Oh.
Amazing.
Thank
So,
God I'm a plumber.
Toxic Tuesday, we also work out with Jack LaLanne here, right? So
See,
Yes.
you got to see exercise happen.
And you're and Mark, you're being a wise ass, but I actually watched Jack LaLanne back in the day.
yeah,
I'm that
I did
old.
too. Yeah,
I like Jack LaLanne.
he was great. Yeah. God.
The Angry Gamer. Next, he's gonna pull out a flow beat. I just sold it actually.
Obi. Shake weight next. Oh, the shake weight. Oh my god. Well,
This show's getting right on track, Dick. I'll tell you that.
It's okay. That was one of the best
Wait a minute, go
derailments
back
we've
a
ever
bit.
had. Let's
Go
be
back a
fair.
bit.
That was a
That's
great
awesome.
derailing.
Can we go back?
Yes.
Yes. Want to go back to the dude?
Yeah,
with
just
no...
the back. No, the one with the
Not-
board,
not
the
too far
chalkboard
back.
in the background. The chalkboard.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you're
let's
gonna-
not go too
Wasn't
far
there
back.
you go. Wasn't it convenient that that guy died against the chalkboard? Never mind.
I don't.
And he lost his penis.
They drew the outline of the dead body. No, never mind, Nick. Forget it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so,
Wasn't
Nick,
very good.
1024 Darth Viewer. Pull that one up. Who would
Okay.
ever thought?
Oh, I had
I
been
know.
waiting. to
I
say
yeah,
that.
I was
Inconceivable.
thinking about that when I was watching this movie,
Me
and I
too.
was like, that would never happen.
It wouldn't happen now.
By the way, I need a sarcasm font while I'm on a stream.
Mm.
Just ask me, Nick, if there's anything you can
Wow.
do.
Nah, but for real,
This was yeah. This is like Idiocracy. This is a movie that foreshadowed today.
Hmm.
It was not supposed to be reality, but then, well, it happened.
Villains then are no longer you're no longer to portray them as villains now in movies.
That's right.
Some movies, they're apparently. It seems like they're definitely on the path of villainy again. You know what? I'm all for it. And we got Office Girl with a Canadian 99 cents. And she leaves a super sticker, which for some reason is not showing on my side, which I apologize for. So I don't know what killer, emoji, whatever thing you're sending. But thank you. Thank you, Office Girl. Cheers. Anyways, let's carry on with the show here as our boys here try to get a hold of Mr. Kimball for the 800th time, and the man just doesn't quit. He just doesn't quit. You know what, Rudy?
Dean Lynch.
Don't let them give you shit about your ponytail. Well done. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Oh, eat pizza responsibly. Okay. Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean, I don't know about the responsibly part of that, but that's up per individual here. If you want to eat pizza and go nuts, well, I'm not the one to give advice on that, but I do love pizza. We'll just say that. I
Looks like
love
she has
pizza.
a
Oh,
worried face. The super sticker.
here, I'm going to zoom in on you.
I thought it was maybe
Yeah, it's all
Bruce
too shiny.
sweating a bit after all that. After all that exercise.
Oh, too funny. He slammed his body. Yeah, that's what
Body
you were
slam.
imagining. Yeah, you're imagining that body slam. That's what they're imagining. But yeah, our boys here get into the train fight. Man, I remember when I initially first saw, I thought this is actually going to be it. I actually thought this is going to be the end of the movie. After he got him, I thought he was going to bring him to the cops. I thought that was going to be it. But then they Billy Mays it on me, like, oh, but wait, there's more. And I'm like, oh, and I'm actually okay with it. It didn't feel like, oh, this is too much now. I'm good with it. I'm good with it because there's more to this than just the guy who
because at
killed
the
his
end we
wife.
find out that Kimball's actually a replicant.
What?
Don't start that.
Oh.
Do not start that.
I'll take it back.
Oh, a can of worms there.
Tom is shrieking. I'm shrieking on the inside. Thanks.
Even Harrison's looking disgusted.
Is pizza just the king of open face sandwiches? No.
No.
It's just,
No.
just flatbread with sauce on it.
Because that sauce is specifically for pizza. Yes, it can go on things, but it had a specific purpose. It was for pizza. I get why someone would think that, but no. No. But man, yeah. Okay, for you guys, obviously you guys are a bit more seasoned than little old Nick here. Did you guys feel like this is the end of the movie, or did you feel like there's still so much more left to be done? Because I was obviously a wee lad when I first saw this.
No, I thought there was a bit more to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was like 20 more minutes.
Yeah. There hadn't been any kind of final resolution, including the ultimate villains of the pharmaceutical bent.
Well, I felt like, see, and maybe this had something me being a wee lad saying it, but I thought he was the big pharmaceutical villain, the killer. I
could see how you would think that at the time, but yeah, he is working for someone, and as yet they hadn't quite said who that someone is. We know it's somebody in a group of people around that pharmaceutical company, one of whom is a doctor who's been faking samples of clean liver samples, healthy ones. So. So we don't know yet who, so to speak.
But we're so close. It's a Billy May. It's just the Billy Mays, as I said. But wait, there's more. Our boy here, he looks like someone that would have been on Sopranos.
So this is where the movie becomes unbelievable, because that train's actually moving. If it was a real Chicago, it wouldn't be going anywhere.
Yeah,
it'd be stuck in the tunnel.
It'd just be sitting there for 12 hours.
I will give credit to the Chicago L's for mostly being successful with coming to their stops on time. I will give them credit. They have been mostly good. I accidentally fell asleep on one, and I got to the last stop, and I had to get off. The guy woke me and said, "Hey, last stop, bro." I was just like, "Oh, is it?" I think I was seeing Discharge. I think I went to go see Discharge, the original OG punk band. I saw Discharge at Reggie's, and I got out the train. Luckily, my walk was in that. I think I had like an hour-long walk home. And I'm like, I'm not calling for an Uber. Screw that. And so I just walked home in Chicago. And yeah, I made it home. I remember that.
So now
that's what it felt like to get off at the last stop.
Yeah, it's something sad and lonely about it. Because now you can stay home and see Discharge all the time.
Okay, that was really good. That was really good. 70s. That was amazing.
1 out of every 10 land.
Hey, take them where you can get them.
You do take them where you can get them. Come on, that was great. Oh,
that was a gooder, as people from Canada was.
Gooder.
Yeah,
gooder.
So
hey, hold on. We missed the part where he said, "Hey, you forgot that you missed your stop." That's what he said to the not Sopranos guy. You missed your stop. I was like, that's a very Arnold line to say. That's a very Arnold line to say.
They did slip a few one-liners in, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Oh, more than a few.
And Emperor's NM became a sponsor. Whoa, we had
Look at this.
we have a gifted. Whoa, Vulcan lives here. Gifted
Holy shit.
5 memberships. Whoa.
For a second, I thought he gifted 32 memberships. I read it wrong.
No, dude,
That's awesome.
5 is more than good
5 is
enough.
awesome. Yeah, I'm like,
5
oh,
is
32.
more than good enough. All right, here. Let's see what my guy Vulcan here just did. Vulcan lives here, gifted 5 recipients. Cool. Now I'm trying to get to the specifics. And he gifted. Why can't I find it? Oh, he did the huge. All right, let's get to the huge. Oh, I accidentally almost hit the. I was gonna hit the Rocky 3 clip. Oh, I did it anyways.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
Huge.
Thank you.
Hey, Vulcan lives. Thank you, man, for that. All those freaking man, you are crazy, dude. Setting people up for memberships. You are a generous son of a bitch. Vulcan, I hope one day we meet at a meetup because we gotta have pizza. It's the same way I told Red Shirt, we're gonna have pizza. Oh, Darth, if only he said get off my train.
Get off my train.
Yes.
Oh, get off my train. I would have freaking died.
Was that Bat Ford that said that?
Oh yeah, Bat
Ford.
Tom. Bat Tom, where are you? Oh man. Oh, Ebveld, it's not a specific button. There's an icon you have to press. That's all. It's a specific icon on your screen. You gotta click and then you send the money. That's how it's not specific. You gotta look for the $sign icon. Then you put in the amount and a comment if you want, or if you have PayPal here, I will send let me oh no, I screwed it up. See, guys, I'm human. I mess these things up. Right here, I'm posting this direct link in the chat. You can copy and paste that link right here. That's a direct donation. Now, keep in mind, I know PayPal is corrupt. I get it. Don't blame me if you got rid of it. I still have it for those who want it as an option. So that is a link.
PayPal was
right
Elon
there.
Musk.
He invented it. He doesn't own it.
Invented
Yeah,
it.
know,
But
yeah,
he's not. He doesn't know. He's not involved
I know,
in
I'm
it
joking,
anymore.
yeah.
But
Being a
there's
wise
people who
guy
still
tonight,
think
yeah.
he is. No, okay, be a wise guy.
Yeah.
You're too kind, Vulcan. Remember, I hope we cross paths one day in person. And Kate J says, just joined, loved The Fugitive, was my grandmother's favorite action movie. Well, your grandmother has good taste, Kate. Just saying. Great taste. That is absolutely awesome. Oh, Richard. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of speech. Can you not interrupt me? And that's something that such a bureaucrat pharmaceutical guy would do too.
Yes.
That is exactly what would happen in real life, because that is what's happening. If you talk like this, you can't interrupt
Richard
me.
Jordan, isn't it?
Yes.
That actor right there.
Yes, you can't interrupt me because I'm exempt from criticism, so you dare not disrespect me and do this stuff. Harrison Ford, how dare you question me and my stuff? I am exempt from criticism. I can't do a good Anthony Fauci, but
You can't. I was going to say, is that Fauci?
I am the science, and I am very narcissistic like that. That's he's the Pfizer guy. Oh,
I
yeah.
I am the science. You got to be able to do a New York accent, because that's what he has. New York accent.
Mr. Rand Paul, I want to go on record by saying you're wrong. You got to
There you go. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I had a guy trying to get me to play who sounded just like that, trying to get me to play 3-card Monty in Manhattan one time.
he falsified his research. I see. Devin McGregor.
It was
Yeah.
funny
And
because I was
then-
watching this movie last night on Tubi, and like every few minutes it'd be a pharmaceutical ad.
Oh no!
Oh,
basic.
irony!
Doesn't Devlin McGregor sounds like an MMA fighter? I mean,
It does.
It's
'cause
the
Conor
MMA fighter of
McGregor.
pharmaceutical
Yeah.
firms. Yeah.
Yes.
Conor McGregor, Devin McGregor, yeah.
Devlin McGregor, fresh from his latest victory.
I
Very
swear.
true, Mass Grave. Very true.
Hmm.
Wow. Anyways, dudes, just
Stay
stay
calm.
calm. Yeah, just stay calm. There's no way out of here.
They
No,
come
this
and
is the end of the
pharmacy
line,
on.
Kimball. We got the building covered up top to bottom. Man, Tommy Lee Jones. I mean, I'd say he did as good as Harrison Ford did in this movie. Even though Harrison Ford's the main star, there's a reason why Tommy Lee Jones got a spin-off for his movie because
Yeah.
his character was just as memorable and just he probably, I'd say he arguably had probably overall the best dialogue, but as far as performance, they were very, very evenly matched performance-wise. But man, Jones is just, this is definitely probably one of my favorite performances from him, like maybe ever, dare I say.
No, this is a good one, but Rules of Engagement, I think, outclassed.
That's your
it.
number one? I don't
For
know what's
Tommy
my
Lee
number
Jones,
one, but this is definitely one of mine for me. This is definitely one of mine.
You know, I'll go out on a limb and be the idiot in the panel here, but I love Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black.
Oh, I love him
good
in
in that,
Men in
yeah.
He's
Black.
brilliant in it. Yeah.
Because he's brilliant in Men in Black because he's the only one who knows what's going on, and the audience doesn't. Will Smith doesn't, but Tommy Lee Jones is the one who knows exactly what's going on. And the first third of that movie is just so funny when because he's just like so matter of fact, and he's just saying these things, and you're laughing at him, and then you reach the later part of the movie, and you go, he was serious.
It's a good movie.
I will eat your ass.
I'll eat your ass.
I was actually watching Alex Jones sing Bringer of Death from Danzig, and I watched him sing of course Mother, and of course Long Way Back from Hell. I'm like, he actually does a pretty good Danzig impersonation. He actually does. He's not a bad singer, right? He actually like is serious about it. He actually has a decent voice. I can see he actually does. He definitely practices singing. I do like probably when he, especially the clip where he sings Mother, he starts headbanging it. So we're gonna see a bald guy headbanging, but Alex Jones does it anyway. I'm a good globalist ass, and also he starts playing Mother and he starts singing it, and he knows all the words to the songs, even stuff from like the lesser known album. So I will say Alex Jones is not a poser. Even if we take out the, I guess I could say, social, political, conspiratorial talk, as far as music goes, he knows a lot of the deeper cuts of Danzig, which is freaking badass. So for me, that guy gets points on the music scale. So shout out, man. I love seeing that. It kind of reminds me of the Continental with where they play at the first episode we were talking about yesterday in Comics Division. So 70 where they play Children of the Grave. It's nice when you can see bigger names acknowledging songs that are not the top 5.
That's right. Yeah. Deep cuts.
Yes, because there are more than 5 good songs from a band.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
take
why
all of
people
Danzig
don't listen
too,
to-
with Fuge.
Say
Sorry,
that again?
Bruce?
I listened to a lot of Danzig 1, 2, and 3. I really think Danzig 2 is really underrated. I know there's a lot of people that will disagree, but
Oh
I
no,
thought Lucy
dude.
Fuge was great.
When I saw Danzig last month, I was gonna say a few months ago. Man, time flies. He did the first out because it's 35 years since the first one came out, and Danzig did the entire first album in their entirety live, and it absolutely sounded great. And Glenn, I know what he does now to maintain his voice, because obviously he's 68. And I couldn't blame if his voice had gone out from, but now to better maintain his voice, because it was starting to wear out on him a little bit. He now does fewer dates, and they're more spread out for his tour. So when he did this recent tour, he did dates, and they're like every 2 to 3 days rather than every single day for a month straight. He spread them out, and I think it definitely worked, because he sounded awesome when I saw him a few weeks ago. He seriously sounded incredible. He's still just as animated live on stage now the way he was then too. So yeah, should Glenn and the boys do a tour again, I would highly recommend, if you're into Danzig or looking to go further, definitely catch their show live, because yeah, Danzig absolutely ruled. Would absolutely see again if the stars had aligned. Anyways, final fight. Guy who's not Fauci versus Han Solo. I love it. I'm happy about it. And what's up, Gilded King, Vince Womack?
No Kylo Ren's in this movie.
We'll blame the one-armed Handy Randy man for that. It's always Handy Randy's fault. It's Handy Randy's fault that Han Solo fell through the window because of not Fauci. We all know.
Fell into the trash compactor there.
Does Tommy Lee Jones' character want to tell any of his coworkers, the other marshals helping him, like his suspicions? Like, he never says it until pretty much this scene, but especially when they had the helicopter scene where he could have gotten shot, and he calls, he knows then that Kimball's innocent, but has he told anyone else? I mean, what if Tommy Lee Jones got killed here? Would they have known?
The only scene where he mentions anything that's in authority, where he has to kind of go against his own guys, is that scene. It was not too long ago's movie, or they're like, Gerard's like, that's my man, and then one of the guys like, no, he's not, and then Gerard insists that he's not, and he said, okay, well then you can arrest us, and then he just goes ahead and moves on. I'm paraphrasing the words here, but it was along those lines. So
the impression I got was that Tommy Lee Jones and his team are there for one reason and one reason only: to capture Richard Kimball and bring him back and put him away again. They have no interest in killing him. They have they know, this whole thing with the Chicago cop. The Chicago cops are going to shoot you on sight. We want to bring you in. So we're the guys you want to surrender to. Even his team would have been that way. He didn't have to tell them. That's my impression. I mean, this is pre, this is back when we still thought the federal government, law enforcement agencies were still honest. So we believed this. But but his team, even if he had been killed by some sniper in the helicopter by the Chicago police, his team would have still taken him into custody and said, no, you can't shoot him. And they would have surrounded him, going to a car, put him in a car, and they would have taken him away. That's my impression. They're professionals. They're not going to let this, they're only jump, because this is the U.S. Marshals. And I do know something about the U.S. Marshals. They're very, very professional. They're mostly prisoner transport, things like that. They back in this day, oh, no, they didn't get into local squabbles. They didn't want to hear your problems. We're here to get this guy, take him in, and take him back. And that's where
we're the guys selling AC/DC counterfeit shirts in the parking lot at the Meadowlands.
Yeah,
right. I'm like, oh shit, the U.S. Marshals are here. Maybe I'm not going to buy this shirt for $5. Quick, run.
They don't handle prisoners on a plane very well, though. I don't find. They usually lose control of that situation quite easily.
Not when it's Con Air.
No, I'm just wondering if Tommy Lee Jones told anyone else his suspicions. I would
have thought he would want to distract, as Richard said. They've got a mission.
Yeah,
it's not up to them to investigate the case, per se, but he's going to play it out and see where it goes.
Yeah,
it's not like they're going to try and kill Kimball.
Well, they have to bring him in too. Yeah,
they got to bring him in one way or
thing.
another. They have to bring him in.
Well, actually, for the marshals, it's one way. It's not dead or alive. Their basic mantra is we get our man and we bring him back. You know, they don't bring him back in a body bag. And that's been the federal marshals mandate for a very long time. Now, I don't know if they're still that way. I hope they are. But the fact is that, the Chicago PD may want to shoot this guy on sight, but the marshals are not going to. They're going to take him into custody.
I mean, he popped the one dude, but you know.
Oh, he popped them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah. Yes.
No. Like the guy, like when they went to the house, and the dude had his guy, and he popped.
Oh
him,
yes, but
no, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, but that was a hostage situation.
Yeah, it was a life and death situation. Now.
Right. That was a hostage situation. When he whacks this guy with the pipe, and he's looking right down the barrel of the gun, and he drops the pipe. That's it. Now I'm going to take you into custody. I'm not going to shoot you. Here it is. So here he is. He's just whacked this guy, knocked him up, knocked him down, might be dead. Drops the pipe. Tommy Lee Jones is still pointing the gun at him. He looks at him like, "Are you going to shoot me?" No. I'm going to take him into custody.
We'll
and that's
shoot you
I
somewhere
think that's what
private.
and I think that's what Tommy Lee Jones thought his team would do. That any of them would have done what he just did. So he didn't need to tell them he thought he was innocent.
I thought he was going to fly him back to the dam and says, "Let's try that little trick again, you MF," and throw him out of the tunnel. See how he got on this time.
Yeah,
This is the part. This is where Gerard confesses that he wants to go to sleep.
I want to see if he can do it twice.
We'll see. Yeah, try that twice.
Try that twice.
I got $20. You're not going to make it this time. Yeah.
I got a $40 bill says you can't do it.
Oh, man. No, that's absolutely not worth compromising twice. That's for sure. That's absolutely not worth the dispute on that. Never. Could you have made a mistake? Yes, the system that's like almost it's almost their job to make mistakes in order to keep more mistakes going so they can create more jobs to cover up for those mistakes. And then those spawn off, and make even more jobs that to come off for the mistakes that came from the other mistakes. And that's just the ongoing cycle of, wasted money. We'll just say that. Wasted money. So yeah, it's unfortunate because I remember thinking, wow, the system was really damn cool. I was wrong. I was damn wrong on that. You learn sometimes. You learn. It happens. It's part of getting old. You learn these things. You're like, oh, wow, the government's corrupt.
You could really
now I'm just sounding like Alex Jones. Now I'm just being Alex Jones and not Harrison
You're
Ford.
making frogs, so I think you're okay.
Chemicals in the water are making the frogs gay.
They're the frogs gay. Why do I sound like this?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yes.
I love that movie.
I love that line.
Oh, I know. It's one of the greatest lines in the history of ever. But this is where he confesses his love. This is their Rocky 3 moment.
He says, "Don't tell anybody. Don't tell
anybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Bring it together.
Kimball, I have both hands.
Yep.
Oh.
And Nick Searcy was in it earlier. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
And you know what? You know why he did that? You know why he
How
took
did
those
Julianne Moore
off?
get such top billing in the credits?
Because she's hot.
I don't know.
Because he wants to hug him.
I don't think she's that attractive, but that's just me. But
Well, you got something against redheads? What's wrong with you?
Just her.
You're biased.
Oh. All right, chat. You know the rules. I want to see those scores. I know it's probably gonna I already know this is gonna get like a 1, maybe 2 for toxicity, but I want to see your quality scores. If you want to give this a Tommy Lee Jones score, that would be great. Or you can make up your own scores along with the usual toxicity greatness. And while the creds are going off, 70s. Lead off.
Oh, leading. Oh, geez. I'm old. I need time to think. So the only thing this movie really liked was a topless woman coming out of a cake. That would have made it perfect. But I just
Under Siege.
They couldn't really fit that into the plot, I guess, in this one, which is a bit of a shame. Really.
Well, they could have had a bachelor party going on in the hotel, maybe.
Yeah. Well, they could have. Yeah. Toxicity is toxicity. I'm going to do that first. I don't think it's at all toxic, really. And in fact, it's even got, a leading role for someone who's, well, I don't know about the actor, but the character is physically challenged, shall we say. I don't know what we're allowed to say these days about these things. Missing an arm. There's an arm off. It's like the Black Knight and Monty Python. If they just went a bit further, it would have been even more convincing.
It's just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh. It wasn't the one-armed man. It was the torso. It was attacked by a torso. So I don't think it's really very toxic unless I'm missing something. So I'd say like 3 out of 10. Now, as for the movie, I really like this movie, particularly because it's what I would call a no-nonsense standard action thriller. It doesn't try to be artsy in any way. It doesn't try to be fancy. It just tells a very great linear story, very tightly. It has a couple of big action scenes, spectacular ones with the train, but it's not trying to be a disaster movie scale. I mean, it's not like, if it was made by somebody like a Michael Bay 10 years later, it would have been ridiculous. Would have been blowing up the city, and God knows what would have happened. So it's a nice, straightforward, almost old-fashioned, tight action thriller. It works extremely well, very well scripted. I mean, it's beautifully shot in terms of the edited, and the shooting and editing is fantastic. Nothing goes to waste in it, I don't think. So great performances by Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford. Tommy Lee Jones is always brilliant. I mean, he's one of these reliable guys. So I think I'd give it 8.5 out of 10 as a movie. It's a great movie. Enjoyed it very much. I must have seen it about a dozen times. Again, another one of these movies, if you're in a hotel room and you switch the TV on and you're just flicking through it and this comes on, you'll watch the rest of the movie. So that's me.
All right.
Nothing fancy.
Only hands account. You're up. Batter's up.
I got to say that this movie doesn't have a whole lot of toxicity in it. Although Tommy Lee Jones, he knocked it from a 3 to a 4, mainly whenever Harrison Ford's trying to say, "I didn't kill my wife." The delivery from the U.S. Marshal, "I don't care." That is great. And there's so many people that would be watching this movie in the theater going, "Oh my God, he doesn't care." What? And that was the reaction we got. The 2 times in the film, in the theater I saw this, it was the same. And underneath the dam, it was so cool. Or in the tunnel, it was so cool to watch that. And then you have the train scene, which just on a special effects scale, there's just that little superimposed shot of Ford jumping off onto the cushion. But you have a real train that can only be shot once, so you better get it right. In the woods, the train is still there. The shell of the train is still there. It's a tourist site if you want to. If you want to go see it, go check it out in North Carolina. This is a fantastic movie. I would rate this at 89 out of 100. This is almost in that top tier of movies that very few get into. And for this being in, just 30 years ago, this movie holds up very well. It's a very fast watch. Even with the false ending. Wait, there's more. it still moves by as a 90-minute movie, even though it's over 2 hours. And that is a testament to the good script, the excellent pacing, and the characters, which are completely realized. There are some deleted scenes that are floating around out there. There are some parts that they shot with Julianne Moore. She got more billing than what she really deserved, but those scenes are out there if you are curious. It doesn't add much. The scenes with what was lady that was in Wreck-It Ralph, Jane Lynch. That one there was actually supposed to be more of a romantic interest, but after a few revisions, they said, you know what? He's trying to have revenge on his wife. Probably should not go for a Hummer from Jane Lynch. And they went the route that we have, which I was very happy about. This movie, 89 out of 100. Watch this film with your family. If you have a friend that they were absent in 93 or they had a coma they were going through, go ahead, pop this in the VCR and be like, for 2 hours, just shut your mouth. This is a great film. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy watching this again. If you got a big screen TV, it's going to be even more impressive. Roll out the old Panasonic or old Sony 7.1 stereo surround cabinet and get everything plugged in. This is worth it.
Cool.
Well said, Bruce. All right, I'm gonna blaze through some of these, and then we're gonna transition over to Dustin. Mass Grave movie. Tommy Lee is older than every movie ever. 10.
Yeah, he's always old. He was old.
Like Ric Flair, Tommy Lee Jones has been 60 years old for the last 30 years, as I like to say. Keely Chow, Toxicity, 6 overall, 10. Same with Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo's been 60 for the last 30 years as well. The Angry Gamer, Toxicity, 3 out of 9. Tommy Lee Jones being a badass, 10 out of 10. Ooh, I like that. Darth Viewer movie is a 9 out of 10. Toxicity is 1. Pfizer executive getting what he deserves, 10 out of 10. Kate J, Greatness, 9 out of 9. Toxicity, 5 out of 9. Huh. JT Kirk, Greatness, 7.9. Toxicity, 6.9. Action Com, 10 out of 10. Big dogs because they're always right. Vulcan Lives. Thank you again, sir, for those membership supports. Greatness, 9 out of 10. Toxicity, 5 out of 10. Tommy Lee Jones, 10 out of 10. Mecca J, overall, 10. Toxicity, 5.5. Tommy Lee Jones, 10.10. Eclay Tomasin, Toxicity, 1. Greatness, 9. Huge. Ears, 4. Mass Grave, Ellis movie. Tommy Lee is old in every movie ever, 10. Greatness, 8.10. Toxicity, 3. TZ, Burton, Toxicity, 6. Greatness, 7. Ginger Woman and Show, 10 Mads. Kate Roberts for TV to film, 9 out of 10. Not to be rival as a TV adaptation until the Hulk. Soul Assassin, Greatness, 9 out of 10. Toxicity, 5 for Bruce's Workout. Movie is a 9 out of 10. One-armed Randy's. RJ Godzilla, Toxicity, 0. Dialogue 1000. Wow. Overall great. Now I've got to run. Tommy Lee Jones is after me. Oh, that was perfectly worded. Well done, RJ. That was poetry, sir. Poetry. I know we got a few more. We will sound off on those since I did those. And Dustin, go ahead and go.
I have to give the same sentiment as everybody else thus far with the toxicity of the movie. Very, very, very low. They weren't trying to push any toxic envelopes. They weren't trying to make anything overly masculine. Outside of the fact that I think Tommy Lee Jones just has a masculine air about him, any which way you look at it. He's kind of got that old school man's man type feel about him. You know, like that whole, like, you know, I don't care, or, you know, the way he talks. And especially like when you get into like U.S. Marshals, like the sequel to this or whatever, his spinoff, I think it's a little bit more prevalent in that movie as well. But overall greatness, I'm going to give us a 9.5. I hadn't seen it in such a long time because I was going to talk about this in the beginning, but my mic was not working. But I hadn't watched it since like high school. Like we watched it in class one day, and I just never got around to seeing it. It's just one of those movies that just hadn't popped up for me. But just we were watching it last night, and I couldn't remember how it ended, and I was like riveted still. You know what I mean? The movie still holds up. I was riveted. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. I mean, it keeps you hooked. It keeps you entertained. So 9.5. Low toxicity, probably like a 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. Thanks for picking it, whoever's fault this was. Thank you.
Good job.
All right. Yeah, good job, you. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a 8.9 for the greatness of the movie. Absolutely incredible dialogue. The fact that this movie was over 2 hours long, and I could still have more. The whole idea of leave them wanting more says a lot and speaks volumes about this movie. That is amazing to think about how you can still add more to a movie that still had a lot going on and it still doesn't feel like all that long of a movie. It's entertaining all the way through. It makes you feel like you're on the run the entire time with him. It feels like, oh crap, he could get caught at any moment. It really does feel like this movie truly does matter, even though it's a one-off, story. It's his own thing. It's not like a big in-universe story, but it really makes you feel like, oh crap, everything about this matters in here. You had a great villain arc. The way everything tied in was there's this whole big basically collusion to bring him down because of all that pharmaceutical stuff. So yeah, absolutely great. Everything that was done, I was sold on, believed. Amazing dialogue. Tommy Lee Jones, of course, he was fantastic. Of course, like everyone else says, I'm just echoing those sentiments, really. And the music, that's another thing. I like the critics and the audience. I really love the music in this movie. I thought it really added it to all the levity and the weight of this movie, the gravitas, if you will. Loved it. So, and toxicity, I'm gonna give it 1 point for Tommy Lee Jones, and then the other point for a hotel that's for men only. So simple as that. I'm going to read these scores, and then Mark and then Red Shirt get to close it out. Oh, Phantom Outsider, overall 10, greatness 9, toxicity. This would trigger the woke. Huge. A non-handicapped actor pretending to be handicapped. Oh, you're right. Remember now, they think only blind people can play being blind. That's true. Maybe it gets a 2.5 in that regard for me. Cavatino, Cavalryman, Che, how's it going? 9 Hans out of 10. Hans down of greatness. 5 out of 10 figures of toxicity. And West German judge gave the dive a 6.9 out of 10. Phoenix 908, overall 9 out of 10. Rarely good movie. Tommy Lee Jones being a bad man. Deleted scenes, greatness 9.5. Toxicity 2. Crashing a real train 10. Ford Jones team up movie, yes, please, 10. Whoo, you guys are killing with these scores. I love it. And yes, thank you. Seriously, the score is freaking awesome. And its cultural relevancy was huge. All the spoofs, homages, we were naming off scenes that paid nods, respects. This movie was very culturally relevant for its time. And you put on now, it still stands up. I'd say it belongs in the thriller category more so than action, even though there are some action moments. I would call it a thriller first. But anyways, I'm done talking. Let's pass it up to Mark D with a C.
All right. Well, yeah, everyone's done a great job, why saying why this movie is so good. So yeah, if you haven't seen it out in the chat, go check this movie out. It's I always used to joke about, you're stuck in the video store. Of course, now you're stuck in like the Netflix queue. It's like, what do you watch? Sometimes trying to pick a movie, and this is a go-to good movie that has a lot of appeal for everyone, I think. Yeah, so it's really fun. Ford is this is back when he was the biggest actor in Hollywood, and this was a huge movie back in '93. So just really fun, and it's tight. Everything fits together real well. It keeps moving, and it's not unbelievable either, other than maybe the jump off the dam. You can believe that he's that smart, and he's so determined to prove his innocence and get the real killer for his wife. And that's why the movie works so well too. It's kind of like Taken, when you're rooting for Liam Neeson's character to find his daughter and get revenge against the SOBs that kidnapped his daughter. Same thing here. You're rooting. He's such a believable character, a likable character too, because he's going out of his way to help people along the way where he could get caught, and he saves that young kid's life. And so you're rooting for him. You really like him as a character, and you're just waiting for that moment where you know they're going to catch the bad, the bad guys in the end. But it's just a great moment there. And I was checking one of the articles on it. They said that Tommy Lee Jones, Harrison Ford, and other people came up with a whole plot about the pharmaceuticals. They were uncredited writers, and so it's interesting to who, I don't know if that's 100% true or not, but they said they did a lot of ad libbing back in the day, but and coming up with that whole pharmaceutical line. So that's if that's true, that did make that twist really help seal the deal on that plot there. So that made sense. The greed of that evil pharmaceutical company and the doctor trying to cover that stuff up. So yeah, so this Toxicity, this is a 2, other than the obvious evil characters. There's really nothing in there. There's a fashion show in the beginning where some ladies are wearing bathing suits or something. I mean, not that you could call that toxic, but yeah, there's nothing really going on here, toxic wise, or maybe that medical convention you guys were saying before. It's all men there. There's not enough representation, but I give this a 92 out of 100. It's like an A minus. Movie, or yeah, I'd give it like an A. Yeah, it's an A. And I take away the minus, yeah, and just give it a better grade. But yeah, it's a fun movie to watch. Harrison Ford is fantastic in it. Tommy Lee Jones is great. All the supporting actors are really do a solid job too. So it's a fun one, and yeah, if you haven't watched it, go check it out.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, the final man who closes off before we say goodnight and plug our channels. Red Shirt.
Well, I don't have a lot to add to all of those comments because they're all perfect. On Toxicity, I'm with Mark. It's a 2. I would give it a 2 for one. A female was killed by a male, not the other way around, because it should have been the other way around if it weren't toxic. And that fashion show, oh man, that was just exploitation, male gaze. I enjoyed that way too much. That must be toxic. So those are my 2. Now, this will surprise you. I mean, I saw the television episodes of the television show back in the day, but this is the first time I've ever watched this movie. And I hated the bit where he gets railroaded by the courts. And I had the same problem with Con Air. That kind of thing really, really chaps my ass. So I had to, I actually had to barrel through that and just get past that and go, all right, I want to see how he gets away, because then it's going to become a chase. But what's interesting to me on this movie is that it isn't all one movie. It's a police procedural, then it's a chase movie, then it's then it's an action movie, and then at the end you find out it's also become a procedural again because Tommy Lee Jones is making his team start to reinvestigate this crime. They're starting to second guess the Chicago PD, and it's a bunch of different kinds of movies at different points, but the tension never lets up. The action is great, and obviously the characters, the actors are fantastic. I love Joe Pantoliano. I love him. He can do a tiny role, and I will always notice him in a movie. I won't necessarily remember his name, but I will notice him. Obviously, Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones, huge, wonderful actors, have played so many great parts. So to have those be the two main characters is fantastic in this. Once this thing gets going, it doesn't stop. It is unrelenting, which is fantastic. The pacing, even with the length of it, it's over 2 hours long. It feels like an hour and a half long movie, even though it's over 2 hours long, because the pacing is so relentless. So, greatness. This is a 9.5. This is a great Tommy Lee Jones movie. This is a great Harrison Ford movie. And I would give this 9.5 for greatness and 10 out of 10 Tommy Lee Joneses.
Ooh, nice. I like that. Well said, Red Shirt. I love it. All right, dudes, guys, chat. Next week, the week after, and the week after that, the Evil Dead trilogy, starting with The Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2 the week after, Army of Darkness the following week, and of course, we'll be off on Halloween because I'm hanging out with my family on Halloween. So
Yeah.
I
What
don't
if I'm too scared to watch the movie, Nick?
You're fucked.
Get your thunder, buddy, dude. Get your thunder, buddy.
Anyways, yeah, chat, thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats, and Vulcan Lives, thank you again for the membership, gifted memberships. Appreciate it. For the new subs, thank you, whoever you are, for subbing. Thank you. And for the new faces, I hope you like what you saw. I hope you come back for more. Because next week, Evil Dead, bro, it's gonna be on 3 straight weeks. It's gonna be huge. And what else here? Oh, for my Dolph Lundgren members, if you check on Gilded, I posted what the stickers look like. Stickers came in and they look great. So do check that out. Okay. Check out them stickers. It's gonna be great. I can't wait. And on my channel, Friday night, I'll have the comic shop show. That'll be fantastic. And I'll have a review with Ironcaster on the new Transformers comic that starts this week from Dan Johnson. So that should be fun as well. And of course, you can find me Tuesday and Thursdays on Midnight's Edge After Dark and Comics Division shows Monday and Thursday as well. So, anyways, that's what's coming up on mine. I'm going to let these dudes plug their plugs on the way out. We're going to start off with Bruce's plug.
All right. So if you like movies, then not only is this a great show to watch that I'm a part of here, but also on my own channel on Monday nights, I stream with Janet from Another Planet. And last night we hacked apart the Ice Pirates. That was a really big surprise when Janet pulled the reveal as to why the movie had the difficulties it did and why it is in the state it's in, which is not quite unwatchable, but very much forgettable. We do things like that every Monday where we go into a movie, we discuss a lot of parts about it we really like, we go behind the scenes, we do deep dives, and then we talk about the actors and producers that were part of it in front and behind the camera. We just like to do that. Friday nights, I'm over at Janet's show. We do the Shit Show, where we typically discuss the weekend politics, but this last Friday night, it turned into a really fun episode of The Prepper Show, and I really enjoyed the hell out of it. I don't even think I said 5 or 6 words. It was great. So if you like that sort of thing, follow me around YouTube. Every other weekend, I do run a D&D game. I put these miniatures to use and roll my dice and piss off my players. Current game's been going on for about 3.5 years, and we're getting that last act of the game. It's getting to be a lot of fun. That's what I do. If you like games, if you like movies, if you like political talk, my name is Bruce Lombardo. Good to meet you. Thank you.
And a pleasure hanging out with you always, sir. You have a great night, week, following weekend. I'll see you for the Evil Dead, my friend. It's gonna be fun. And guys, go sub to Bruce Lombardo. You heard me. Go do it. Come on. Bruce, thank you again for always being a part of the show, dude. You are awesome.
I love this show, Nick. You know what? Did you ever see a movie called The Hunted with Benicio del Toro and Tommy Lee Jones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Does that movie not feel like a third, maybe the final part of the trilogy for the U.S. Marshals character?
I can see that. I can see your point of that. I remember when that came out. I had thoughts in my head about U.S. Marshals, so it did run through my head. I could see where you're coming from on that. So yeah, no, not the line, man. You're preaching to the choir on that. There you go, guys. That's Bruce's channel. Go sub. All right, Dustin, the Keto Simple One himself. What's coming up on your channel this week?
Oh, this week I've got a video that I recorded just before coming on here. I've got to edit that and get it out hopefully tomorrow. I wanted to get it out this morning, but I slept in and I was a lazy ass. And this weekend or Thursday, I will be joining Brian and the Rowdies on their channel as I try to do every Thursday, talking with those guys. This weekend, I will be in Louisville, Kentucky for Keto Palooza. And then the following weekend, I will be in Chicago for Botch, the Friday night show. There's 2 nights, but I'm only going to 1 night of that. But you can catch me most Tuesdays, most except for tonight. We didn't do a live tonight. We'll be back next Tuesday for a live 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, Shander and myself. And the following Sunday, I'll be back with my Sunday morning live, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we will be going to Florida the last week of October into the first week of November. So I'll be absent for those and not a lot probably going on the channel. But keep posted up and new content is on its way. And I've just got to find a way to tiptoe around some of the new guidelines that they've got going on for medical misinformation, as well as some stuff about like they've got some binge eating stuff that's a no bueno.
Oh, they updated stuff again.
Do what now?
No, they added some new guidelines or something you gotta watch out for.
Yeah. And one of them is I've been planning a video about food addiction and such. So I've got to be careful on how I word things because they have obviously I'm not pro binge eating or anything like that. So that's not necessarily the issue, but just the algorithm maybe picking it up or whatever, maybe getting it wrong. Yeah. And then I have to fight it. I don't want to deal with that. So just got to be extra careful making content as of right now. So
Nick, be careful how much you tell people to eat pizza, I guess.
All the mukbangs.
Thank you, Kate. No, this is fun. It was a lot of fun. It's a good show. Thanks for hanging out
always.
With us.
Thanks for having me, Nick. Justin. I appreciate you 100%, sir.
Oh, the feelings are mutual, bro. All right. Till we hang again, until our cross paths once more. And Yolanda Gaines slid in with a perfect 10 masterpiece. And now we have Mark here, who has a store to settle. I'm sorry, a channel to plug. I don't know why I said that. It's time for me to go to bed, guys.
No, that's all good. All good. Yep. Buy Nick some pizza. Yep. But no, thank you. Always fun being here, hanging out on Toxic Tuesday, and I got that slideshow in the nick of time. I was doing it on the road tonight with my laptop at one point where I was stuck in a meeting. I'm like, hope no one notices I'm watching The Fugitive here, clipping it. But it's always a lot of fun. Check out my channel. I got monetized again, thankfully, and I actually just opened an Etsy store. So I've been doing a Doomsday Machine. So if you want to purchase a Doomsday Machine from Star Trek, and I'll show it and
Mark, unless it's a real working one that could destroy an entire planet, I'm not interested. Sorry,
you're not interested yet. Well, I'll do what I can. I'll come up with a special version just for you. Yeah, I'm not.
I want the real thing.
I'm not responsible for any destroyed worlds. Yeah. So there's the clip there, and then the link there. And
I'm just kidding, buddy.
I know, of course, I know. Of course I know. Yeah. So there's my 3D printed Doomsday Machine. If you're a Star Trek fan, they never made a model of this, so it's fun that you can 3D print these things, and so I'm making it available. And thank you guys in the chat for thanks, Vince. Yep. So I was glad to be monetized again. And no phallic jokes here. This is a serious Star Trek thing. This is
just about to go there.
This is geek and nerd stuff. We don't care about anything else other than the starships here, and so I print them and paint them. So if you're interested in something like that, or makes a perfect Christmas gift. No, just kidding. But
if you've ever seen a movie called With Neil and I, this looks like the Camberwell carrot. That's all I'm going to say. You'd have to watch that movie. You know what I'm talking about.
How big is your Doomsday Machine?
I have 2 sizes. I have
Isn't her sizes.
A variety of sizes.
Custom, yeah. One's about 14 inches and one's about 9 inches. Yeah, but if you really want something big, I can go there too. Yeah. Girth the final frontier.
Ron Jeremy or
Girth is your
John
favorite
Olds.
Klingon. Girth is your favorite Klingon.
Oh, gee.
A little bit of poop
Mark.
there.
It's been pleasuring. I mean, it's been fun. Thank you for the amazing
you.
work you put into the show. We're gonna have a wild month with Evil Dead and then Bond the month after. But I know whatever it is you do, it's gonna be great. So I thank you for your time and the production that you do. It helps make Toxic Tuesday the way it is. Congratulations again on remonetization. Well deserved. Go
Second
sub the
time's the
Mark's
best.
channel. Yeah, right. This time we're gonna make sure it's here to stay. No, if my channel is monetized, this show absolutely gets demonetized within a minute of every time it starts.
Even this one tonight? Even tonight?
Oh yeah,
It was...
this one got demonetized too. It's okay.
We didn't really do much tonight. Yeah,
I know.
Who does that?
Sure.
I think it just maybe I've become part of the AI with Toxic Tuesday. They just
nail it. They just
Toxic Tuesday. Oh, demonetized.
Yeah, it's automatic. It's automatic. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's Nick Wise's Toxic Tuesday.
Yeah, it's fine. Honest guys, look, we do this show because we do it. We have fun with it. When people want to do super chats and direct knows, that's all on the roll course. It's there because it's there. I'm a capitalist, but I don't expect it. If people want to do those things, otherwise just hang out. There's tons of people here who don't donate, and I'm just happy when people hang out. They do that. The time is the best. So anything else is a big old bonus. That way, when I meet a guy like Vulcan Lives in person, freaking pizza. It's gonna be great.
I thought you were gonna say a big old boner, but that's okay.
That's what I thought you said. Yeah.
See what I started with that doomsday machine?
Yeah, and that's probably what it is. And maybe their AI catches us talking about toxic males and they don't like that. So anyways. 70s.
Yeah. Well, as Dustin said, on Thursdays every week at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, he and I host a show with the Rock and Roll Rowdies, those reprobates that I hang about with. There were tour managers and roadies and road managers. And this Thursday, we will be joined by a guy who I've had on my channel before, Kevin Harrington, who's a Beatles roadie from the White Album era till the end of the Beatles.
That's amazing.
So that'll be great. Yeah, he's a good lad. So that'll be fun. And on apart from all the other shows that I appear on, another one I should mention is on Saturday night. The NHL season is almost upon us.
Yeah.
So Brahma Bull and I are reviving our bourbon and boarding show Saturday night, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, where we'll be previewing the season, but also doing a live draft of the Bourbon and Boarding Fantasy League for those, if we can get enough people to sign up for that. So if you go to my channel, the stream is set up for Saturday night already, and there's details in the description of how to put your puck into the ring or whatever to join up for that fantasy league. That could be a lot of fun reviewing that every week. So that's Saturday night. So hockey's back, you hosers. Take coffee. Yeah, the redhead on the roof, Kevin Harrington. He's pictured holding up the lyrics for John on the roof of Abbey Road to sing. So that's Saturday night, 10 p.m. Mountain Time. And next Monday, on It's Only Talk and Roll on my channel, we'll be doing, just for the sheer fucking hell of it, we're going to do a Dio show. We're going to celebrate Ronnie James Dio. I'm using the excuse of the physical release of the Dreamers Never Die documentary as an excuse, but it's just an excuse because I just want to talk about Dio for 2 hours.
It's
Dustin
the
will be
sign
there, Nick will
of
be
the
there.
Southern Cross.
And I'll have as guests Willie Fife, Colin Hart, and Wilco, Derek Wilkinson, who all worked very closely with Ronnie throughout various stages of his career and know him very well. So they'll all be on the show and we'll be chatting about that. Wonderful gent. Ronnie James Dio. So it's Monday, 3 p.m. Mountain Time
Dude,
on my channel.
it's the sound of the Southern Cross.
Gonna
Oh, dude, yeah. Explosive anthem.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun, yeah.
R.I.P. to the legend, Ronnie James Dio. Once again, still, I mean, Mob Rules is still my favorite Black Sabbath album
I fucking love
in the history of ever. I love Heaven Hell too. I even love the album that Sharon Osbourne was being stupid about. No, shut up, Sharon. It's Black Sabbath.
Yep.
You're wrong. Anyway,
less Ronnie.
70s, it's been great. I can't promise because I'm pretty slammed that day, but I'm gonna at least try dropping just so I can say something awesome for 5 minutes about Dio, because why would I not?
Drop in, say hello. Say hello to Willie and Colin and Wilco, and say, just give us your memories of your favorite tracks. Yeah. So
I could tell I've definitely had many drunken buffoonery nights listening to Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. I've had some nights of debauchery, destroying walls, blowing up, Axe Spice spray cans in the front yard, like
waking up in puddles of vomit, that kind of thing. Not even your vomit as well, somebody else's vomit. Any stage of Dio, right back to Elf. Elf was a great little band before Rainbow.
Yeah.
So great stuff. So anyway.
All right. No, it's been good, man. All right.
Thanks for having me, mate. Good fun.
Red shirt.
Well, it looks like I might be back on the Friday night shit show with Janet from Other Planet, as long as I promise not to derail it again and turn it into a prepping show.
That was funny as hell, and I had a lot of fun, man.
It was a fun conversation, and we probably avoided at least 1 or 2 black pills on that one. But yeah, check out Janet from Other Planet's channel on Friday nights, the Friday night shit show. I'll warn you now, it's political. It tends to be. If you don't want to listen to that, fine. But if you're interested in people who are talking about how insane things are becoming and what we can do about it, whether there's a solution besides, just giving up, black pilling. No, it's not a black pill stream. So it's all about what can we do. If you don't like where things are going, come on by. Check out the Friday night shit show. I'll be there on Friday, I suspect. And it's a fun time.
Yes, you will.
And Janet's a lovely lady. Just subscribe to her anyway. Even if you don't want to listen to that show, subscribe to Janet anyway.
2 new NSA satellites, though.
Red shirt, it's been damn fun. Avery's
thank you.
1 step closer to having pizza.
1 step closer.
1 step closer. Thanks for being part of the show as well.
1 foot in front of the other.
To a pizza.
Yep.
Have a good night, weekend. I can't wait till we do Evil Dead, man. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a wild next 3 weeks.
I gotta watch out for some vines, though.
Yes, guys. What Vince said here. Thanks.
I'd like to thank our buddy Darius Munchausen, who's doing a lot of link posting and other.
Thank you,
other
Darius.
Stuff
Thank you, Darius.
Yep. Thanks, Darius. Thank you, brother.
We thank you for posting those in the chat. Thank you, Darius. And thank you for your super chat earlier, along with also Office Girl for becoming a member as well, because she was a non-get that she signed up. So thank you, Office Girl, for your support as well. All right, guys. Evil Dead next week. Comic Shop Talk Friday night on my channel. And new video this week on Transformers Comic. Once again, the intro is the outro. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out and give us 3 hours of your time. It's fucking crazy, but I love it. Thank you.
I'd like to show you something.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace. pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm
You have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky?
You're still here? It's over. Go home.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you again for your support. You are all absolutely batshit fucking awesome.